Shine bright up all night, we're never slowing down. Fall in love, drunk mistakes, we're bound to hit the ground. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. If for a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. If for a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this. Young blood made of gold, a mind you can't control. Running wild, can't calm down, my head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. If for a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. If for a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this. On the day we are together again. On the day we are together again, I will pull you in close like a hoop with no end. On the day we are together again, we will share the same table again. We will share the same table again. I will pass you the salt, the candlelight will bend when we share the same table again. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will stop for a snack at the taco truck stand when we walk around the block hand in hand. Someday we will go back to work. Someday we will go back to work. May we be among people who respect our work. Someday we will go back to work. I will write you a letter for now. I will write you a letter for now. Hope is a message that survives somehow. I will write you a letter for now. I will help the strangers I meet. I will help the strangers I meet. It is possible to get healers who keep us alive, and the ones we love who are gone, and the ones we love who are gone. We remember the stories, and we sing the songs for the ones we love who are gone. And on the day we are together.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate your time. Today is January 23rd, 2024, 6:14 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. It's good to see you all in chat. Thank you all for being here. While you guys are coming in, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button, I would really appreciate it. It helps get these stories out, and that is what it is all about. After all, is people seeing the faces of the missing or endangered, the victims. It's good to see you all. Thank you. So, as I told you yesterday, Stacey Wandra, I don't think he'll be coming on any platforms anytime soon. I do believe justice is coming for Stacey Wandra very soon. Um, there, I know there's a lot of people that, about this case. They don't, get the timeline, and I want to break that down for you. Who sings the last song? I don't remember. I'll try to put it in. I think it's credited in the description. But I want to review Stacy's and mine and Josh. I asked him to come up the other night, and I'm thankful he did. Um, he got the fire started, right? You know what I mean? So I bought it. Hold, please. Fluffy said. Fluffy bought the thing. You shouldn't have to buy it. It's copyright free. You shouldn't have to buy it. So, okay, Allison. Well, so what we're going to do in this live is we're going to go over the live that we did. But while we're going over that live, I have some illustrations that I'm going to show you of the timeline of some maps, and we're going to spell it out for you as best as possible. No problem, Granny. We got you. And try to answer your questions as best as I can. Yes, proving spooky. It's coming. It is coming from Michael Vaughan. We are praying that, you know, we can, law enforcement can bring him home. Uh, that's number one, right? Number one. So without further ado, that's what it is. That's it. Opening song is Still Life by Humbird. That's it. Now that you say that, thank you so much, Miss Always Right, Ryan. You're so sweet. You're so sweeties. Thank you so much. All right. So I am going to we're going to talk a little bit about what Brandon said. Now, Brandon is one of the main players in this story. He did a interview with JLR. Description is in sorry, the link rather of the full video is in the description. I recommend you watching that full video that JLR did a great job in that interview. And what was it? Oh, thank you, Cher. Thank you so much for gifting one membership. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate it. Good to see you. But they, it's we've got 4 people that have been named suspects in the Monkey Michael Vaughan case. 3 of them were together on, sorry if you hear that. That's snow falling off my roof. We have 4 of them. 3 of them were together, and they all have 3 different stories. It's funny how that works, isn't it? You all 3 were together, but none of your stories match up. None of your stories match up. Hey, Brandy. Good to see you, my love. Good to see you. All right. So we're going to review this, but I am going to be pausing it. We're going to be I'm going to be showing you illustrations, timelines, maps, all of that. All right. Without further ado, let's get started. Of your life for sure.
Okay,
Since
I'm gonna
fast forward through his life stuff.
or Boise, wherever it was,
Okay.
to go see his kid, and that was about 11 o'clock. They left. I
Mhm.
got a phone call from Sarah. No, that
So,
was probably 10:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. They left. I
so
got a phone call from Sarah.
sorry. So Adrian has a kid in
I
Idaho.
think he has a couple, but
A
yeah,
couple. Okay. Okay. I need. So Adrian is the uh, African American guy that was with uh, Brandon and Sarah that day. However, he was and is, according to their stories, wasn't with him during the trip to go get the Mercedes at Brandon's mother's house. Okay? Turn this damn phone down. Go ahead.
it's okay. Sounds
All
like
right.
you're on scout or meet me.
No, I'm not, I promise. Okay, sorry. It's just loud as hell.
It's
All right,
okay.
go.
So, um, Sarah took Brandon and Adrian. They all went together. I stayed home. I didn't really wasn't too fond of Adrian, just for the record. Like I wasn't keen on him.
Mhm.
And I told Sarah that when she approached me and asked if she could we could help him out with a place to live. And I'll go into that a little bit. But so anyway, so they went and she took him to go see his kid. I got a phone call about 11:30 from Sarah because she was the dispatcher for our company and said that there was a taxi ride that needed to go from Ontario to Boise. I was like, okay, that's $150 run. I'm not going to pass it up.
And what time was this?
I left. That was 11 o'clock. She called me roughly, and then I left the house about 1
Mhm.
in the afternoon.
Do you have any receipts or anything of the calls, the call logs or anything
Oh
that day?
no, those phone numbers are long gone. Long.
You know, I would be calling up the phone company and being like, "Listen, can you can you track where I was that day or whatever?" I would be trying to pull receipts out somewhere. But he's
Long
like,
gone.
"No." Okay.
I'm sure we did.
I'm asking him, why do you not have like taxi logs, like, or anything like that? Doesn't seem like it was a very
But
organized
yeah,
business.
there's no way I can pull that.
Right. I'm sure.
I'd love to. I'd love to.
Yeah. Adrian is not the one who went on JLR's
No,
That
Brandon didn't.
that was Brandon
Mhm.
who went on JLRs. Now Adrian is currently living in DC area.
According to Brooke,
Is it confirmed that he passed the lie detector test? It has not been confirmed by any of us. He states that he is the only one that passed a lie detector test. I have not been able to verify that. So yeah.
Brooks, yeah, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
talk to Adrian. I don't want nothing to do with him, nor do I Brandon.
I've been emailing with him, so yeah. So we got him now. All right,
Nice.
go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
You're good. So that's literally how the day started. Sarah took Brandon and Adrian. They all went together to Nampa or Boise to go see his kid, and um, I stayed home. Got the taxi phone call. I left about 1 o'clock. I stopped at the splash pad about 1:15, 1:30 ish.
Okay.
I don't know. It was in between 1:10, 1:15, 1:30 ish. I don't know exactly. It's so long ago, but um,
Now I have not ever been to Fruitland. Um, Dolly, I think Betty has, and they say Dolly even said on his live that, and I've seen it from the map. There's a little parking lot where you can pull in there to go to the splash pad. And you know, it's 1:30 or so. He stopped at the splash pad. He's seen on camera. Now, this is hours before Monkey Michael Vaughan vanished, was abducted rather. So, were they scouting out anybody at that time? I have no idea. I don't think so, but they could have been. I think this was a more like they say like it was an opportune like a crime of opportunity. I think this was very impulsive. They saw, you know, Monkey walking around on the sidewalk looking for his friends, and that is when one of them grabbed him, in my opinion. Why did you stop at the splash pad?
so I went to. I'm a Big Dipper.
I don't know how somebody can pull a child off the street that they don't know. How do you take something that is not yours? Now, if a child is in danger, whatever, you know, pick them up or whatever and take them to safety. That's a different thing. But, you know, knock on someone's door or whatever, but you don't take someone that is not yours. Mhm.
Big Dipper.
Right?
I went to pull out my can of chew from my pocket.
Mhm.
It had fallen. I didn't apparently have a grip on it enough, and it fell on the passenger side, like up against the floorboard on the far side, and I couldn't reach it.
Mhm.
And I was really big at the time, like a lot bigger than what I was
Mhm.
now, what I am now. So I
He was 535 pounds, I
couldn't
think, at
just
the
reach
time.
over the console to grab it. So I literally had to get out of the car to get it. So I did that, walked around the vehicle, opened the door, grabbed my chew, walked out, or walked back around, got in the car and left.
Okay. And that was at what time?
Give or, give or take 1:30 ish when I left.
Okay. And that was on your way to Boise.
On my way to Ontario to go
On
to Boise to take.
Ontario. Okay. Ontario is not far from Fruitland. It's a few 10 minutes or so, maybe less away. And then Boise, it's about an hour away from Ontario. Ontario to Boise. Okay. How far is Ontario?
Like a 10-minute drive. You just go
Okay.
over the bridge and you're there.
Okay. And Boise's what? 30 minutes?
60 miles, about an
So
hour.
an hour, give or take. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And who was you? Was it just? Did you just do one?
I think
One.
so. There might have been another taxi ride, but I know that it was because the timestamps that I sent you, I'm sure you'll post them up.
Yep. After he gets back from Boise is when the rubber hits the road, so to speak. After he gets home and he's home with Sarah, Brandon, and himself. I'm going to fast forward a little bit of this to where we can, because it's
I mean, as it was recorded by the camera,
right.
got out and then got my shoe, went back around the car and left. That's
Right.
all.
Hold on, let me find it. Boise, but the other one. What's the
Ontario.
Ontario? Okay. So he's some of your alibi at that point,
Mhm.
which Michael hadn't even went missing yet at this point.
No.
So, but still, I'm just saying. Okay. All right. So you how long do you hang out with David?
I don't know, a few minutes, you know what I mean? It was a good chunk of probably 15, 20, 30 minutes tops.
Okay.
It
Okay.
wasn't very long. I mean, he had stuff he was doing too, so
Do you talk to him often?
I don't talk to him anymore. From what I heard, he's deceased. So I don't
Oh,
know if that's true
okay.
or not.
That's a you. Okay. It's hard to talk to someone like that for sure. Um, all right, so you're there 30 minutes tops. Okay.
So on leaving David, I came straight home or came back to the Fruitland area. Apparently, the timestamps, I didn't remember this, but I went to Ontario again to go. I stopped at A&W.
So he's we're
Or
getting to
sorry,
that point now.
yeah, A&W, which is by Kiwanis Park or whatever in Ontario. Went there, got some food, I think, and went back to Fruitland.
Okay. So you go from Fruitland to Ontario to Boise back to
Ontario to home
Ontario to home. What now? Why did you go back to Ontario?
to get some food.
Okay.
There's an A&W in Fruitland, but that was the direction I came back. It was
It's on the
it was
way.
on A&W on the way,
Hmm.
but you could see it from the interstate and it was completely packed, and I didn't feel like going inside from what I
Okay.
remember.
All right. Um, where is Sarah,
At home.
Adrian, and everyone at this time?
Sarah or Adrian, according to timestamps again, according to what
Listen
Brooks
to
showed on the photo, again, timing can be off. So apparently, what the timestamp it was for something when they took that photo, A&W or the Applebee's.
hmm
So I was all I know is they were home when I got home. So
Okay. Okay. So they were, and earlier that day,
Adrian didn't come back though that night. Just for the record, he stayed over in Namper.
so Adrian did not come back the night
Correct.
Michael went missing.
Correct.
Okay. 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 Now, on July 27th, uh, now this is Brandon's account. Brandon says he spends the night.
Yeah. He
Okay.
stayed the night a lot at our house.
Okay. All right. Now, in JLR's interview with Brandon, he says he was just going to spend a couple nights or whatever with them, that he would stay there sometimes because he was working. One thing that Brandon says in this interview is he says he has to go, hold on, he has to go get water. Let me see if I can find that
Go
real
back
quick.
there and try to settle it, or do you think they're going to extradite you? Try to
Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick.
back that way. So they're like, okay. And then from there, it's just been kind of like,
Let me find it.
no, I was with Sarah that whole day and Adrian. And then Stacy was left home alone.
Stacy was left.
Guys, please drop JLR's link in the chat. For those on the replay, his link is in the description.
Home alone. What, like, there when you guys were out, what cars were there with Stacy?
I think he had his little Cadillac Escalade that he cruised around at that time.
What color was that?
It was a white one, an older one that he traded his pickup in for. That when that pickup started to have a couple issues, instead of getting it fixed, he just traded it in.
Yeah. See, you know, because he's left alone and no one else is there with him. I wonder if he ventured out. Yeah. Okay. For instance, when you guys got back, was he in the house?
Yeah, he was in there. He was in there on the couch, I'm pretty sure.
What was?
So Stacy says he gets home. They are home, sitting on the couch. And he says when they get home, he's on the couch. So they flip it. They both say each other was on the couch when they get home. Well, somebody had to be home. Which one of you was home when one of you got there? This is Brandon, yes. Now, there's
With Stacy, I'd like to talk to him personally, and if he was here right now, I'd be talking with him and say, "Hey, I know you and me didn't. I know that you broke my watch, and you know you
Hold on.
thought I wanted to steal your girl or this or that, but that was all accusation." Yeah, that's true.
So it's interesting. So because he's left alone, you guys are out. Michael Vaughan goes missing around, we'll say 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And, you know, what happened? Where was Starkey? Where was Carson Starkey?
I think
Listen to
he
this.
was driving for another company at that time because he was mad at Sarah and Stacy because they were kind of trying to give him a little bit of bluff or a little bit of grief, and he was like, "You know what? I can go work somewhere else or be part of somebody else. I don't have to sit here and take your guys' nonsense."
So, interesting. What about the Cesar Garudo? What's the deal with him? Is he involved? Could he?
First time that came up to my attention, and then as far as I know, they both said, "No, we don't know where he's at. Let's go help look for him." From that point.
Interesting. Yeah. Man, I'm so scatterbrained here because it's just a mystery. It's a mystery.
Been gone doing like siding in Montana and
find
stuff,
it.
trying to pay bills, and they're beside themselves and just scared and freaking out. Don't know what's happening, what's going on.
So, do you feel like the detectives think you're involved, or they just want to ask you more about?
One more time. Let
And
me
get my Mercedes Benz and tow it back over there so I
Here
could
it is.
work on it if I was going to be hanging out over there doing the taxi business.
Yeah. So when did you guys go over there to get your car?
I think it was around like 6 or 7 at night.
6
or 7 at night. Now, that is the truth, right? Right around 6:45 or something. Yeah, this is JLR and Brandon. But he says before that, during the day, that he goes and gets water at his mom's house. You're going to drive a freaking hour to get water, and then you're going to go back again and get your car later on. It doesn't make sense. Why would you drive an hour for freaking water? Full of baloney. All right. So you come back after you get your A&W and your ride. You did one, maybe
Mhm.
2 rides.
Correct. Which I think is probably the other reason I went to Ontario too. Just putting that out there.
Say that again?
I think maybe the other reason I went to Ontario too wasn't just for food, but it was to go pick up that ride.
Okay, so there. Okay, another right. Okay. Um, why did you guys always have a bunch of people in your house? Just
There
curious.
wasn't a bunch of people in the house. People make that excessive. They're literally, we had people come in sometimes who were just friends of friends or friends of ours, or, I think one point in time we let Brandon bring his buddy over and his buddy's friend, but there wasn't an excessive amount of traffic like people make it.
Okay.
We didn't allow that in our house. We did have a heart. We did help people with a place to stay once in a while who
Mm-hmm.
were trying to get on their feet, because that's what, as Christian believers, we, try to help people who are in need,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So that's what we did. Um,
Right. Sorry, I was muted. Sorry. Sometimes when I touch this mic, it mutes. So notice something about Stacy and Sarah and Don and Candace from Summerwell's case. Number one, they both hide behind religion. Number two, they both have strange people in their house, in and out, in and out. They're swinging, they're doing all kinds of craziness. Just notice that it's not a stable home environment.
but there wasn't a huge amount of traffic like people say there was. No,
I wasn't sure if it was like cheaper labor, or something like that. I mean,
no,
you're staying at our house, can you help out cheap, or
no.
whatever, and help you get you on your feet or something like that. Okay. All right. So you come back home
hmm
and
Brandon and
what?
Sarah are on the couch.
And who's on the couch?
Brandon and Sarah.
Now you see, I just showed you guys a second ago Brandon saying we got home, he was on the couch. Just interesting. Brandon and Sarah
Can't
are
even
on the
get that
couch
right.
together.
No, not together. They were on different couches, but they were
Okay.
both on their phones when I walked in.
Okay. They're on their phone when you walk in. Okay. Now, what else?
I was approached by Brandon and Sarah saying that, Sarah talked to me first and was like, hey, um, Brandon wants to go get his car from CUNA.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, let's just get it over with, because Brendan had been pestering us a lot about getting his car. Like, it wasn't just one time he asked, it had been probably a couple weeks worth of asking.
He'd been harping on you.
hmm
Okay. What time was this approximately?
Uh, Timestamps, again, I'm
Isn't it odd that you're doing it later on in the evening? You guys, they have both ran around all day long. He's done went to Boise and chilled in Boise and ate and everything, and then they've been running around, uh, doing going to the mall and Applebee's and all that. And they go later on in the evening. This wasn't an emergency. He had been asking for days in order, to get the car. Why at 6:30, 7 o'clock? Don, Grandma at 3, thank you so much, my love, for gifting one membership. Thank you, my lovies. Appreciate ya. Thank you. So why? Why?
referring back to the timestamps because I literally just found them yesterday. I got back into my email account. And my pictures from that year, last night,
Right.
literally, thanks to
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you're not getting back until about at least 10:20, according to his timestamps. About 10:20. You're leaving at 6:30 to 7 o'clock, and you're gone over 3 hours. Okay. Why would you want to tow a car with like a strap at this? And there's another thing. I needed to he might tell me in this interview, I can't remember, but he's got a Mercedes. The spark plugs are blown. How can you steer with your not having power steering? Right? I mean, wouldn't the steering wheel be locked? Question. I
Eve,
need to find that
who
out.
is also viewing, I believe. Um, she helped me recover that.
Mhm.
So I was able to get into that, and that's how I got those photos that you'll pull up eventually, with the timestamp attached.
Okay. So, I know a lot of the older cars you can, but nowadays, there's, especially with like Mercedes and stuff, a lot of times they're electronically steered. They're not even like belt or, you know, fluid, the power steering fluid and all that stuff. So I'm going to have to find out what kind of Mercedes, if the vehicle's in neutral, if you can unlock the wheel. Yeah, some blinker fluid. Absolutely, sure. It's funny.
So I'd say, it's gonna sound stupid, but going
Marlena, I actually asked him this question. Why tow it? Why tow it? It's a fucking spark plug, man. And why tow it this late? It's a spark plug. Now he makes an excuse for it. I'll let you listen to it.
back to the timestamps, I would say 6:30 or 7 is when we left.
When you left.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you leave at 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. And you guys are making a trip from Fruitland
Correct.
to
Cuna.
Cuna. How do you spell Cuna?
Kuna.
Kuna. Okay. That sounds like Hawaiian almost. Sounds
It
Hawaiian.
kind of does, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I got Hawaiian.
You do?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome. Let's see here. So Fruitland, Idaho to Kuna, Kuna.
45-minute drive usually. Yep.
Okay. All right. So yeah, 48 minutes.
Mhm.
48 minutes it says from, and
I know my miles. I know
yeah,
my destinations.
well, taxi driver, you
Mhm.
probably. All right. There's one important part he doesn't tell me before, they're on their way. He doesn't tell me a very important part of this story. And the important part is he pulled over on Arizona and 8th to change his power steering fluid. Now, we call him out on this eventually, but I want to show you something. I want to show you. something here. Bear with me a second. All right. Now, let me make it bigger for you. Here is where they live, right? So, they have to come out here into Meadows and then this and then down here, right? That's most likely how they drive on Meadow Lake Avenue and then on 8th. However, they pull out and they pull over right here. And that is where they're changing their fluid. Those facts since Brandon. Okay. So, sorry, I was reading something. So they pull over right here to change their power steering fluid because it leaked. Now, right here is Michael's home. Here's Michael's home. They pull over right here. This is Michael's backyard. What's Michael doing? He's, trying to find his friends to play with. Yeah. Yes. So 1 second. Oh my God, my kids. 1 second. Okay, baby. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So here we go. This from this door to this door is 100. From this road to the end of Michael's yard is 170 feet. 170 feet. That's right. Now, 170 feet. Power steering fluid change. Now, they could have changed it here, and Michael could have been, let me see if here's another one. Michael's home, power steering fluid. This is the yellow line is the path that Stacy and them would have taken. They pulled right here to change their fluid. They would go down this road. Michael is anywhere in this dotted line. I don't know exactly where he was at the time. 2 neighbors saw him about 5 minutes apart. But all it takes is right there. That's all it takes. Now, if Michael was like down here or something, they could have, picked him up from down there. You just don't know. Right? Hey, FC, good to see you. Thank you so much, my man. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Guys, please drop AFC podcast. You will be very glad you've subbed up to AFC for sure. What do you mean at the same time, Marlena? But that's, I think, well, not I think, Michael, we know that Michael went missing anywhere from 6:40 p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. 6:40 p.m. local time to 7 p.m. A 20-minute span. What time is old Wandra's Brandon, Stacy, Sarah, what time are they right there changing that fluid? I bet you with every fiber of my being that it is in that time frame. Now, Brandon admits that they were there. He admits that they were there. He says they saw a kid as well, but he said it was like, 6 or 7 houses down. And he said it looked nothing like Michael, but I don't believe him at all. I think Brandon, in my opinion, is telling us things that happened that day. I think he's just leaving the most important parts out, which is Monkey, Michael, Joseph Vaughan, what they did, when they took him. Did I say Brandon? I meant Stacy. Sorry. Did I say Brandon? I'm sorry. Stacy said that. He said, yeah, there was a kid, it was like 6 or 7 houses down. You can't see a kid 6 or 7 houses down. And besides, if you are changing your power steering fluid, you're not going to notice a kid 6 or 7 houses down. You're not going to notice that. In my opinion, although we don't know, but they're right here on the corner changing their fluid, and they see Monkey. And that is when they take him. And where they go next is Brandon's mom's house. And I need to show y'all something else. Bear with me. I'm doing this. So they say now, they said that Brandon took a duffel bag with him. To do his clothes because, he was staying with Stacy and Sarah, Brandon was, for a night or two. And they had a perfectly good washing machine, but he wants to go ahead and pack up all of his clothes that he supposedly just got there. Brandon himself said he just got there a day or two ago, spending the night. And he's going to drive them an hour to his mom's house, which he's not supposed to be in. None of them are supposed to be there. Brandon's mom apparently don't trust him. Their son, being alone in their home while they're gone. They were out of town. And yet, Stacy says he sits inside the home, or inside the car rather. And Sarah goes in to pee. And Brandon does a load of clothes. And I said, well, you can't do that in 30 minutes. You can't do a load of clothes and dry them in 30 minutes. He's like, no, they left them there. He says that he saw Brandon put all of the clothes in the bag. Nothing was in it. Nothing was in the cars or anything when they were leaving or coming back. Now, I want to show you this duffel bag right here. This duffel bag is what they put Harmony Montgomery in. A duffel bag very similar to this. This is an Under Armour duffel bag. And you can fit more than you think in a duffel bag, unfortunately. So I don't believe him. I don't believe him for a second, actually. Yes, it is, Kim. So did you guys take 84?
Yes.
Okay.
84 to exit.
And I've heard people say that he said backpack in other interviews as well. And then the thing about Brandon, he didn't even say that he took a backpack. He never said nothing about that.
I want to say 46 or 48. It was 10 Mile Road. It might have been 42. I know it was 10 Mile exit that we took.
10 exit, you mean like exit number 10? Oh, 10,
No,
10
exit.
Mile Road?
10 Mile Road, correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's an exit for 10 Mile Road, correct.
Gotcha. Okay. That is
All right.
correct. Yeah, because you can do I-84 East
Mm-hmm.
and then South 10 Mile Road,
Correct.
where it says you can do I-84 East, Idaho 69
Yep.
is the second. But the fastest is I-84 East.
To 10 Mile, correct.
Yes. Just looking here. You're going to turn onto Whitley Drive,
Mm-hmm.
3.3 miles, and then turn left 0.2 miles to I-84 East toward
Yep.
Boise, Caldwell.
Correct.
Merge on I-84 East, and then exit 42, which I don't know where exactly in Kuna you were. Now, why was this
I
car
can
in
give you
Kuna?
his address if you want to pinpoint that from our house to his.
Now, remember, Fruitland Police Department said Brandon and others had firsthand knowledge. Firsthand knowledge, that is their words, of what happened to Monkey Michael Vaughan.
So you can
Sure.
see his address was
Thank you,
2518.
One second. One second. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you. 2518. Go ahead.
Snowbell, SNOWB.
What address did he say that it was again? I want to show y'all this. That's what I was looking for, actually. Let me find it. Now, why was this
I
car
can
in
give you
Kuna?
his address if you want to pinpoint that from our house to his. So you can
Sure.
see his address was 2518.
One second. One second. 2518. Go ahead.
Snowbell, SNOWBELL, I believe.
Got it.
Road.
Is it north? It's probably north Snowbell.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's only one Snowbell.
Okay, and your old address, I got it here.
1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland.
Okay, it's 49 minutes.
Yep.
All right, so you're going to do, here, I'll show you here, just so we can be clear. So you're going to go 1102 Red Wing Street, and then, we're just South Meadows Avenue, turn immediately onto 8th Street. So then you're going to turn right onto US. All right, let me show you this. This is Brandon's parents' home. It's a lovely neighborhood. Lovely neighborhood. Now, my question is, where did they keep this Mercedes at? Where did they keep this Mercedes at? This is like, where did they keep this Mercedes at? And how long was it there? Did they keep it on the side of the street? Like, where did they keep it? This is the home. Both are probably involved in lying to confuse investigators. Being 500-pound, he isn't as agile as Brandon. Maybe the small garage, maybe. But if it wasn't in the garage, or because I mean, if it had been sitting there a long time, are there some Ring cameras around here? I've looked at this entire neighborhood, and there is Ring cameras coming inside, right? But look here, there's some neighbors that was very excited about seeing the Google, the Google people. This was October 2023, so around Halloween. Now, they live on the corner here. Now, Stacy, he's going to say that they went in through the garage because they have some type of alarms. The fool is out there trying to clear his name when he actually totally giving himself up. Yeah, he did not do himself any favors. I could retap a spark plug hole and put it in a spark plug back in about 20 minutes or less. No need to tow a car. Yeah, Mab. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make a sense at all. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please hit that thumbs up. They got a big backyard, it appears. I'm assuming this is theirs as well. But they don't appear to have any cameras on their home. But I just would like to know where they kept that car. Doesn't look like you were allowed to park it on the street here. And if you didn't park it on the street, was it in the garage? Now, I don't think the parents, well, we know the parents didn't want Brandon in that home, but they went in that home anyways, including Stacy. Sarah went in that home. Old Mercedes can't do much without the parts working, in my opinion. Easier to take the plugs than to tow a car. Yeah. And why do it this late? Makes no sense in my opinion. But here we go. Let's continue with what Stacy says. That's 95 south.
95 south, yep. Turn left on I-84 east. Yep.
Yes.
You're
Okay.
gonna merge. Yep.
Yep. 38 miles on I-84.
Yep.
And you're going to exit 42.
Correct.
Turn right on the south 10-mile road. And then take a roundabout at exit, the second exit. So 49 minutes. 49 minutes there. It took them 6:30, 7:30, 8:39. It took them about 3.5, 4 hours to get home. Now, I'll give you time and a half if you're towing the car, right? but something's not right here.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Now, is this where he lived at?
This is where Brandon's mom lived. Correct.
Okay, this is Brandon's mom. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to make it clear for everyone, like in the chat, who
Absolutely.
you don't know. So that's why I'm really explaining things. Okay, so what kind of car were you driving that day?
I was driving a 2005 GMC Sierra 1500 HD. It was a burgundy red.
Burgundy red. Okay. And you said it was what, 2005?
Mm-hmm. A 4-door.
Okay. Now you go to the house and what happens?
Brandon brought a duffel bag full of his clothes. I can verify that it was literally full of clothes because it was
Exactly, Brandy. They checked Brandon's mother's yard. The dogs also hit in her yard. There's that. Mysterious true crime. Love you, my love. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. Canadian Cookie, thank you so much for gifting a membership. I appreciate it. And thank you for gifting another membership. I appreciate it. Guys, if you was one of the ones who got a membership from Voices, Don Grandma R3, or Canadian Cookies, please give them a huge thank you. It's what keeps our little channel going here. Appreciate it. And Mysterious True Crime, thank you so much for your first month. Means more than you know. Thank you. Truly.
empty when he brought it on the couch from the side of the couch. And I watched him put all of his dirty clothes inside the duffel bag.
Okay, this is where he's putting the dirty.
So
There was a
clothes in.
duffel bag
A black one, correct.
at your. There's a duffel bag at his place at Stacy's and Sarah's where he's staying, but I'm gonna drive an hour and make my total existence more chaotic to pack my clothes, carry it all the way there while I'm towing a car, and then go back the next day, which is what Sarah and Brandon did. They went back the next day. Why did they go back the next day? Well, they say to get their clothes. I call bullshit. Candy, thank you so much for 4 months. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't make sense. Your house?
Yes, that was his.
Uh-huh. How big is the duffel bag?
It's small. It's a medium, like medium to small duffel bag. It's not big at all. It's not like a huge one. It's got the handles that Velcro together and it's got a strap that goes over your shoulder.
I'm thinking it's basically what I just showed you guys a little bit ago, a standard size duffel bag. And oh, Estelle, thank you so much for being a member of 4 months, my love. Thank you. That means so much. Thank you so much. Downplaying the size of the duffel bag. Yes. Now, remember, a grown man, there was it's called the suitcase murder. Forget her name. I forget her name. She's so arrogant. She put her husband in a suitcase. They were playing, right? But she didn't let him out. He died in the suitcase. That's a great interrogation interview, by the way. Sarah Boone. Thank you, Sarah Boone. And a full-grown man can be put in a luggage. You don't think a 5-year-old a 5-year-old can't be put in something. Remember, in Summer Wells' case, they said we could be looking for something the size of a laptop. The laptop. Millie, love you, my dear. Thank you for everything. Appreciate you for 10 months and being a mod here. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay. All right. And he takes this duffel bag with him on the trip.
Mhm.
Okay.
Brings
And
the duffel bag into the house.
he rides with you.
Yeah.
And Sarah there. Yeah, Sarah Boone, she didn't mean for him to die. She just was drunk and went upstairs and fell asleep, she says.
Right.
Right. Do you remember?
Sarah was driving. I was in the passenger seat. He was in the seat behind me.
Okay. Do you remember the conversation on the way on there?
I play a lot of music. I mainly DJ. I don't um, do a whole lot of conversing because I like to listen to music. I'm a huge music nerd, so
Okay.
there wasn't a lot of conversation.
Sarah wasn't bitching about something. She's bloated. She's gassy. Anything? Nothing. I mean,
No.
nothing. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Karen, 17 months. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Justice is coming for Michael. It really is. Justin, look at poor Gannon. He was put in a suitcase. I know. Poor Gannon. That one was a hard one too. Well, I mean, Brandon, Sarah, and Stacy, they look bloated. Oh, you're on Leo's got a constipated your way. And how long are you what do you do at the house once you arrive there? You hook up the car, and what else? What else is going on at the house?
That's it. Brandon had to go through the side gate entrance on the right side of his house because his mom has surveillance, like a Ring doorbell that has audio video set up that'll pick up detection of movement or whatever. So we parked
Exactly.
just enough in front of his car
He says he's got a 68 IQ. A 68 IQ, you couldn't be able to drive or anything. I don't believe that for a minute. He's much more intelligent than he portrays.
I
In
could
my
push
opinion.
his car out of the driveway and get the tow strap out of the truck to go connect to his car. And while in the process of me doing that, he was in the house washing his clothes.
Okay, what's wrong with his car?
He blew the spark plugs out of the cylinders.
I want to see his body language there. Hold on a minute.
Has audio video set up that'll pick up detection of movement or whatever. So we parked just enough in front of his car so I could push his car out of the driveway and get the tow strap out of the truck to go connect to his car. And while in the process of me doing that, he was in the house washing his clothes.
He's uncomfortable. Okay, what's wrong with his car? He's uncomfortable.
He blew the spark plugs out of the cylinders.
He broke the spark plugs. Okay.
Blew, yeah. He drove a Mercedes, and I don't know if anybody knows much about Mercedes, but
I think I'm gonna ask the deception detective if he'll do something on Stacy here. I would love to hear his review on his behavior, Stacy's behavior, and because I'm sensing some stress right there.
pieces of shit.
Okay.
I'll never drive one.
Okay. And so why didn't he just get new spark plugs?
Because you can't. They had to be rethreaded. The holes had to be rethreaded. He literally blew the spark plug out of the hole.
Oh.
The threads. He blew the threads. Correct.
Okay. Okay. And how long are y'all at this house?
30 minutes tops.
Well, you can't wash and dry your clothes for 30 minutes.
He didn't dry his clothes. He washed them and left them in the dryer washer, and then they went back the next day.
He said dryer first, and then he said washer. So your clothes are going to be moldy. They're going to be mildewy if you just leave them in the washer. And your mom is going to come home and her washer's going to smell like mildew. She's not going to be happy. You're not supposed to be in her damn house. Thank you, Trina. Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate it. Thank you. I love you, my dear. Very kind of you. Appreciate you. I sense lying here. Brittany, you just have to think of the bigger picture when you're doing interviews like this. Bigger picture.
Hey,
Trust me. Oh, okay.
Trust.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
So he throws him in the washer. Okay. And you're driving this car back, or
oh,
you're
he's
towing
steering
it?
the car. Sarah was towing it. I was in the passenger seat. Sarah wanted to learn how to tow a car.
So she's doing this.
Correct.
Okay. Now, how did you go back?
We went back to 10 Mile, I believe, which turns into, if you pull up the maps real quick, you can see where I went. But if you type in Idaho 16 from Kuna, Idaho, from his house to Idaho 16, we literally, I believe, took 10 Mile, or it was Eagle Road, one of the two, but we took 10 Mile all the way onto Idaho 16. Idaho 16 then drops into Highway 52. Highway 52 drops into Payette, Idaho. And then you take a left off of, when you enter Payette, off of Idaho or Highway 52, and that takes you straight to Fruitland.
So, okay. If they're towing it with just a strap, they don't have lights, right? They don't have lights because the spark plug doesn't work, right? I mean, I'm rather stupid when it comes to cars, but if the spark plug doesn't work, it's not going to flash, is it? Nothing's going to flash. Like the lights, it's dark outside. Am I wrong? Hey, Rogue. Yeah, one tow strap is dangerous. Will your brake lights still work? Like I think your battery would go dead pretty quick though, because you don't got an alternator to keep it running. I think the flashers, well, let's see. I think the flashers go off of fuses, but I'm not. They might go off fuses, but have to find humor in these cases. Stacy only shared his couch and wife with Brandon. He drew the line at washing machine. Right, Opal, exactly. Yeah. Yep, but the thing is, like, if you've got, you're going to be traveling an hour, like your hazard lights, it's going to drain the battery rather quickly because the alternator won't kick on. You can't start the car. We need some more detail to this. Are we clear? FBI black SUV? Is chat clear? All right, so that's 16 East Idaho. All right,
No,
so
you don't want 16 East Idaho.
I'm not car
You
savvy.
want to go from his house, not my house.
I love cars,
Okay.
but I'm not shit. I don't work on them. What was his
Type in
address?
11 or type in 2518. Just East Snowbell, or just type in Snowbell Road. Sorry, not East. Right there. Yep. CUNA.
Okay.
And then type in ID-16. Yep.
Would that be Meridian or
Yeah,
like
like,
okay. I know it's the least of
Yep.
their worries, but it's just, I was just thinking, it's 9, 10 o'clock at night while you guys are towing a car. Isn't there going to be, you're going to have hazard lights
See
on
the
or
direction we
something.
took.
Are you going to get in trouble? Okay. So y'all go. Motherfuck. Sorry.
Hey, it's okay. We all
I just
swear.
messed this completely up.
It's okay.
Hold on, let me try this. All right. So did you guys take, do you take 80? You don't take 84, do you? You take this
That
way, right?
address is not correct on it's not 186 West Hannikin Street. 2518
Why
is
is
his
it doing
house
that?
address.
2518 Snowbell.
Yeah. There you go.
Um,
On the
what's
bottom
the,
there, the red
is it,
Snowbell Road. It's 2518. It's right there. It's on your history. Look where. There you go.
oh,
Yep.
there we go. Oh, Snowbell, there we go.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you're going this way, and which
Correct.
road do you take?
Nope, the one where the blue line is. It's exactly
Okay.
where we follow.
So the IQ of 69, 50 to 69 in adults, mental age from 9 to under 12 years old, likely to result in some difficulty in school. Many adults will be able to work and maintain good social relationships and contribute to society. So 69 and below is extremely low IQ. 70 to 79 is very low. 80 to 89 is low average, and 90 to 109 is average. I think his IQ is above 69. I personally do. Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean,
All
for
right.
heaven's
So
sakes,
you take 10 Mile Road.
he's helping
Correct.
me out here with
Okay.
the address.
So there's 1,000 stoplights through here, right?
Yep.
All right. So they would have you guys on here for sure.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And have they
Yeah.
told you that they've, that you can share with us? I mean, there's some things you probably can't share, but have they told you that they've seen, that's right, Benson, y'all, towing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, not towing, but I mean, if you pull up the map that I sent you, the screenshots, you'll
Okay.
be able.
Well, when Josh comes up here shortly, when he starts getting real heated, when we kind of go, deeper on him, he says he has Asperger's and fetal alcohol syndrome and some other things.
To explain that to people while
Okay.
I'm here.
Let's pop this off. All right. So Stacy has some receipts today. He did bring some receipts. All right. Is this the map?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, all right. You want to go ahead and.
Yeah. So basically, that map right there, where the red dot is,
Mhm.
that's where Sarah and me and Brandon pulled off, because when we had when Sarah, so
wanna
with
talk-
towing, if anybody knows anything about tow straps, you have to keep tension on the rope on the tow strap, otherwise you'll end up snapping it, which Sarah failed.
So From what I understand, you can change your location on an Apple phone. Is that correct? You can put your location as anywhere, basically at any time? Thank you, Benson. I don't have an Apple phone, but can you put your location as anywhere? Now I want to
Able to do. And I told her, I was like, look, you
got
got
the
to keep
coordinates
tension.
here.
And whenever you take off, you got to ease when you take off from a stoplight or wherever. You can't just gun it. Well, she gunned it. The truck had a lot of power too. So, I mean, I can kind of see that. But that's what happened is she gunned it and snapped the tow strap in half. So
Okay.
that red dot is where we pulled up. And if you zoom in on that dot, I don't know if you can, but literally like it'll show where we pulled off at on the side of the road, that's Idaho 16. Now,
Why is he checking in here at this time? Like, I don't understand this part.
after we stopped, Sarah, I got out because I had to reattach the tow strap. I had to double knot it, which shortened the tow strap quite a bit, but it worked for the due diligence of the rest of the trip. Sarah did get out of the truck because she had to use the bathroom really bad.
Okay.
She had to take a pee, and it was dark out, so she didn't think anything bad about it. So she literally just got out of the truck, went pee real quick, and got back.
So she had to pee at the house, and it's an hour ride back to Fruitland from where they're at. Anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. We'll say it takes longer because they supposedly pulled over and fixed the strap. You got to go a little slower, while you're towing. I get that. But you just peed less than 30 minutes ago. Why you're peeing again?
In the truck. No, she did not wipe. I can vouch for that, which is kind of gross.
Nobody cares.
But
lived without that.
He's let that shit go.
Okay.
So if you follow that map,
Okay.
that's
Question: how long did it take you to
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. Okay. All right.
So if you follow that map, Idaho 16, if you want to pull up the next map.
Did you start driving back at this time?
No, she drove the whole way.
Okay. All right.
So that little picture that's in the middle of that map, if you want to zoom in for people.
I can't exactly zoom in, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that picture that's on the map right there is a part that I took a picture of because Brandon said he needed an AC compressor. And if I'm mistaken, that's an AC compressor unit pump.
Okay.
So I did take a picture of it while I was out, and I'm glad I did because that just timestamps again where we were.
So this is a timestamp from July 27th at 9:56 p.m.
Correct.
Point, Granny.
Correct.
All right. And how far are you from home here?
They're about 25 minutes.
All right. So this timestamp here, let me see what it says. 9:56 p.m. He says he's 25 minutes from home. 25 minutes from home at this point. And it's 9:56. So he's getting home around 10:20. You left at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Don't think so. 25 minutes. Okay. All right. So you're gonna. Okay. Is this on? Are we still on our way home here?
Yep.
Okay.
So that road, literally, if you follow that Highway 16 or Idaho 16. You continue on that road. If you want to bring up Idaho 16 on the map, on like
Okay.
Google Maps real quick, I'll guide you guys to it.
Okay. Lord. All right. So,
Yep, perfect. Just bring in Idaho 16 as a main. Just type in Idaho 16 for point A and then hit search.
there we go. Okay.
Just hit the little arrows, the reverse arrows.
Reverse arrows. Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yep. And then delete the 2518 and just hit search. There you go. So if you want to zoom in on that, you'll see. So
Let me show you this timeline here briefly. All right. At 6:37 p.m., one of the neighbors sees Michael outside, right? About 6:40, right about, a couple minutes later, Dad's ordering pizza. Takes about 5 minutes to order a pizza online, when you call it in or whatever. 6:45, another neighbor sees Michael. Dad gets off the phone at 5 minutes later. It's 6:45 p.m. Now, they tell us, authorities say that Monkey went missing from 6:40 to 7 o'clock. We have a 20-minute window. That's a really tight window. That's they've got it, down. 6:47, there's a Honda Pilot that they put out. They wanted to originally, speak to this person. I think they found out who one of the two cars was or whatever. But it's 6:45 to 7 o'clock. Dad is looking in the house, looking everywhere in the house, outside, in the yard or whatever. And then it's 7 o'clock, after looking in there. Remember, Dad's got kids at home. He was changing diapers and ordering pizza. So Dad's still got kids at home. He gets in his car and he looks for in the neighborhood. The neighbors are looking at this point. By 7:21, 911 is called. And don't forget, Stacy is seen right here changing his power steering fluid. And what time did they said they leave? 6:30 to 7 o'clock. They say they see someone. They see a kid, but doesn't look like Michael. Several houses down. Michael's house is literally let me see if I can find it. I think it's like 164 feet from the end of the backyard of Monkey's house to where they were. So you mean to tell me, Stacy, Sarah, Brandon, Adrian, that not only were you seen right around their home the time that y'all left? You mean to tell me that Stacy said to authorities that Michael had been was in the backyard and cadaver dogs, multiple, actually every single one of them, hit in the backyard, and they found evidence of remains in the backyard? But you was just saying it under pressure, but yet he was actually found in the backyard and you was actually seen on the corner of the home, and your stories don't make sense. No. Mm-mm. No. So that is why it's daylight savings time during June. Yes, it is. It is daylight savings time. Days are longer. But even daylight savings time, it's dark at 10:20, when they get home. Why isn't Stacy arrested? Listen, it's coming. It is coming, in my opinion. The Missing with Miranda, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Everyone, please welcome the Missing with Miranda to the Justin for All family. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Now, the prosecutor for Fruitland, he said this. Let me find it. Back in October? Is this it? Okay, that was when they were dropped. There's old Sarah. But he said back in October that he expects to charge. And I believe it's going to happen. I think we're just waiting for them to do whatever they need to do in order to make sure this case is, tightly done. So let me find this. Go back to it. Did law enforcement do any DNA on toe straps? I have no idea. No idea on that. That I couldn't tell you. I'm sure that they have done so much. Right, so much.
Yep.
Let me see. Let me zoom in more. Okay, 1 second. What are we looking for? All right, we're getting ready to. Josh is getting ready to. It anymore, please. Come up right here. Sorry, safety. And this
It's all
is
good.
where.
So we
we're
get back to the house
start with him.
and pull around Mallard Street.
Katie,
Took a left on Mallard Street
welcome.
because Mallard Street leads onto Red Wing.
Thank you.
And it was just easiest to go that way because we had a vehicle behind us that we were towing. And so we pull onto the side of the curb or the side of the road, which on our house, which is there's a curb.
Hey, Josh. This is Josh from the lab. He's my buddy.
What's up, Josh? How you doing?
Good. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. So pull onto the house on Red Wing Street. There is literally, there's people walking around everywhere, of course.
Mhm.
Sarah and Brendan said they were going to go look for the kid or for Michael. I said, okay, well, I'm going to stay here because I got to get this car unlatched from being in the street because you can't legally have a car taking up the whole length of the street pretty much.
Right.
So I went and did that. Well, they went looking for Michael. They came back probably, I don't know, midnight, 12:30. Said they had no luck on finding him.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh crap! What am I doing? It's way too close.
I was like, man, that was good. No.
Did you get to the interrogation part?
No, no. I've just been getting the story pretty much. That's about it
Gotcha. Okay.
of that day. Um,
Can I ask a question real quick?
yeah.
So we're gonna go live again tomorrow. How long are we planning on doing this one today for? Because I literally just had to go back to the shelter,
Okay.
so I'm literally trying to get settled in, and they're getting ready to serve dinner here probably in about 10 minutes.
Okay. We can. Yeah.
So if that's okay, I'm obviously you see I'm committed. I have
Sure.
nothing to
Sure.
hide. I'm nothing, not running. So
Okay.
I just don't want to make it seem bad to people. But like I said, I'm trying to get settled in. I've
Sure.
never been to this place before, so
Can you do another 15 minutes today?
yeah.
Okay. We can do it. We can set up another one tomorrow as well. Okay. Um. All right. So, question here.
Ouch.
Let me find this right here.
Okay.
This is an interesting thing that Stacy said, and I wanted your comment on it. If I can pull it up. I got so many screens pulled up. Okay. All right. And this is from forget what news. I'm sorry, I don't got the source on me right now, but it says according to documents, police forced entry into Wandra's home around 9:30 p.m. Friday, where they found Sarah Wandra in the living room. She was detained and read a copy of a search warrant. Quote, when I got to the portion that read murder, she said, quote, did you just say murder multiple times? End quote. Okay. I want to Fruitland police mention something here. I did misspoke on that. They did not find Michael in the backyard. They found the dog's hit on human decomp is what they hit on. There is evidence. I'll play what JD Huff said on that as well later. Police officer wrote in the affidavit. She also said, quote, I have never murdered anyone, end quote. Officials said Sarah Wandra maintained that she, quote, definitely did not kill that boy, end quote. That's her quote, not mine. And said, quote, the most high God, yeah, he already told, he loves Josh and I now, me who did it. Listen to what Sarah said. She reportedly told police, quote, listen to this. Oh, wow, the most high God just told me that Stacy was the one who killed him and buried him in the backyard, end quote, the neighbor's house. When she asked later, so Sarah is saying God told her that there's monkeys in the backyard. Stacy said he was in the backyard, and dogs hit that there was human decomp in the backyard. Plus, they've got him on camera at different places. and God only knows what else they have on him, because I believe there's going to be an arrest. To show police where the boy was buried. According to the affidavit, she told police of a spot near the entry of the residence and said Stacy had buried him in the backyard, quote, in the backyard of the shed, end quote. Police said at that point they began to digging a portion of the Wanderer's yard based upon what the police chief said on information he has been moved. Information, quote, received from Stacy, who had not yet been arrested or charged by Monday afternoon. It wasn't clear when or why police had spoken with Stacy Wanderer. Do you know why she would say something like that?
I'm appalled. I have no clue.
Now, I'll be honest with you. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. But my opinion is Sarah is the batshit crazy one out of them. Like, they're all crazy. But I think, in my opinion, I think Sarah, I don't know. She's like the batshit crazy one, I think. Very impulsive. Saying God's, sending her divine message the way she talks and
She's
stuff.
literally like gone cuckoo. Um, I'm a very high believer in God, and I believe in God strongly. And God wouldn't tell a lie. You know what I mean? God is very, he
Well,
died on the
God
cross.
may not tell a lie, but humans will. Let me ask you this
That's
question
true.
really
That's
fast.
Go ahead.
I guess my question really is,
a drink.
what is it that you're trying to accomplish? I mean, you are a suspect in the case, whether
Yes.
law enforcement has said that. What is it like? So you're doing, I'm not saying you're doing rounds, but you're going on panels and stuff. Like, how is this going to help you? How is this going to help exonerate you?
It's not going to help exonerate me, but what it's doing is giving people my side of the story, because there's a lot of stories being told, but nobody's going to believe one person over the other. Reality is I'm still a suspect. And when it gets cleared by law enforcement, then people have a different view. But I want to personally tell people my side of the story, because I feel that's what I'm destined to do. Because I feel there's a lot of bullshit talk, there's a lot of crap talk about each and every one of us.
Mhm.
I'm just honestly going out there because I know what happened that night. I know that I know the whereabouts where I was. I know the whereabouts where Sarah and Brandon were. I don't see that. That's why I'm doing this, because there's a lot of questions regarding this.
Yeah.
Right.
But you don't have anything to offer as to where Michael is.
I don't. You're right, because I don't.
So what I'm saying is, like, and the point that, I mean, that should take 5 minutes to say.
He has taken a polygraph.
I did take a polygraph, and I was very well informed that I passed the polygraph by detectives,
I thought he was
by
going
the
to leave, to be
FBI,
honest with
by
you.
my mom, who the detectives told. I was also told that Sarah and Brandon did not.
Have you told investigators anything that you haven't told the public? And if so,
Not at all.
why?
Not at all.
So your story that you're telling everybody is the exact same that you have
Exactly.
told in the interrogations.
Exactly.
And to stop an interrogation, what you did, you said that Michael was in the yard. How does that, did that stop an interrogate? Did that actually stop it?
I haven't been interrogated since. I haven't heard from law enforcement. I haven't talked to law enforcement. I haven't even heard a peep from anybody.
So they dug up that entire yard, as we all saw. We watched them do it.
They're not going to dig up an entire yard with just him saying it, right? They have to have, those dogs have to hit on something as well. Dogs aren't going to hit, or there's not going to be some other evidence of other than him just saying it. It's him just saying it. They're not going to dig it up just because of that. Hey, Daily, good to see you, honey.
Based on just you saying that he was buried in the yard to stop it.
Correct.
So you tricked law enforcement into doing that?
I guess if you want to put it that way, yes.
Well, I mean, that's against the law, right?
I mean, do you think?
So you very well, you could, and probably.
Yes, and Josh is making a good point here. He could, if he was lying about that and they didn't find no evidence, any evidence, they could have charged him.
Probably
for
should
lying.
be charged with that. But and I'm not here to like trip you up or hang you or be mean to you or anything. But how is it that you can trick dogs into hitting on human decomp? You can't do that. You can trick the police, but you're not tricking dogs.
No, not at all. But
And the dogs did hit, correct?
Apparently that's what
There
I'm
were
being
supposed
told,
to be
yeah.
multiple dogs.
So you told them that Michael was buried in the yard, and then, which you say is a lie, but then dogs hit on human
No,
decomp in that yard.
They hit before I told them that. That's why they questioned me.
So they hit. So whenever we die, any of us die, we let off several different types of it's a chemical process. So but the main things that dogs smell is two different chemicals, and it's called cadaverine, like cadaver dogs. That's why they call them, cadaverine and putrescine. And that is the two main chemicals, and they are very pungent, very, very pungent. So you're not going to trick that many dogs before?
Correct.
So
but to prove my point that there was nothing back there, that's why I had them go dig it up. I knew there was nothing back
he's
there.
lying through his ass.
I
here.
simply
Sorry.
was
He's
very
lying through
much
his
so
ass
under
here.
pressure. I was being interrogated to the point of tears. I mean, for hours a day, for like 3 or 4 days. And honestly, I could not take it. It was killing me.
But I thought you said you gave them the tip.
I did give them the tip after they interrogated me.
If the dogs would have hit earlier, they would have just dug it up.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so obviously,
I mean, they wouldn't notice. They wouldn't have known to search your house if they hadn't had it. If you hadn't given them the tip.
That's what
the neighbors that Brooks has talked to, the neighbors that I have talked to, they said also that they hit at their front door.
I'm saying. I told them.
You told them, and then the dogs hit, correct?
No.
Because the dog, if they hit on
dogs hit before, that's at least what I'm being told. That's what law enforcement told me. That's what detective
they would dig it up though. They would have dug it up if dogs would have hit. They didn't. They dug it up because you said Michael was buried in the yard.
Correct.
Okay, but
then they bring the dogs out there to confirm that hey, there is human there is they're hitting out here. So then they dig it up.
All I know is I told them that fable. That's what I told them. I don't know anything further than that.
And you can see how that's going to be hard for people to understand.
I do, absolutely.
You
But I mean,
damn sure.
that's a lot to tell. I mean, to get an interrogation to stop, all you would need to do is say, "Hey, I want to talk to my lawyer."
And I
That's
did that. My lawyer was present with me.
Listen, if you ask for an attorney and you say, my attorney's here, and you say, I don't want to answer any more questions, I don't believe him. I don't believe him because they automatically stop right there. He is lying,
Okay.
in my
I've
opinion.
got the clip where JD Huff said we have multiple dogs hit and we've got all of this based on evidence, it says.
And testimony. I mean, and that's what I'm really wondering is because like I said, this is just what I think. I think that you plan on being indicted like everybody else that was up there on those poster boards,
That's coming.
and you're trying to get ahead of this thing, kind of get your story out there, which I don't blame you, but it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. I know it is. But what you're going to do is
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know why. I'm thankful, but I don't know why. I mean, he's a fruitcake for
so
some
since there's 4 different people involved, what's going to end up happening is you guys are all going to start throwing each other under the bus. You're kind of Brandon was the first one. Then it's you because you're out of jail now. And Adrian eventually at trial or whatever is happening here. But what I'm saying is, I don't understand why anybody would tell the police that there's a kid buried in the yard to stop an interrogation. What good does that do? Did that help you in some way?
The probable cause
Because why you
affidavit.
wouldn't tell him that unless he was actually buried in that yard.
He wasn't.
He wasn't when they went back, but he was at one point, according to the dogs.
But the
And to
problem,
you.
the problem is how is he not? I mean, how is he not found? I mean, he obviously was in that yard at some point. Investigators and dogs and everyone picked it up. Now, maybe you didn't have nothing to do with it, but somebody at that house did. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And who was it?
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling my side, because I know for a fact, and per the posters and the pictures and everything that I posted that I sent to Justin, like I had nothing to do with this boy's disappearance. I had no knowledge of him being buried. If he was buried, that's news to me. And what's weird about it is our neighborhood, like they have cameras that like from Sky Cam or whatever it is, that you can see into the backyard. There was no dig holes. My dog Oakley, it was a digger, but she dug right when you walked out the front patio where the dead spot is, where the barbecue was.
So Sarah's mom, she owns the house that they lived in. And Sarah's mom made them get rid of the dog because it was digging so much in the backyard. Now, he says the dog just dug in one certain area of the yard. But remember, this is months and months later. When that was dug in the yard, we don't know. When something was moved, right? He was moved potentially. We don't know. But there is evidence.
Mhm.
But
Now,
it was dead because the barbecue we had 2 barbecues at the time, and one was sitting on the grass.
One
in
of the
this
things.
affidavit.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry.
Justin.
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, one of the things that the dog would do is when they're sniffing in the yard, not only would they do that, at any point, if he was in the house at all, if Michael was in your house, the dogs would hit at the front porch. Did they?
Not to my knowledge.
Yes, they
I
did.
think they hit
Beside the front porch. You
Oh,
were
okay.
in jail.
So that would indicate
They
that he
did.
was near the house. So Michael, I mean, let's just be honest here. Michael was around that house.
Huh?
Michael was around that house. The dogs aren't going to hit just for no reason unless you buried somebody else back there.
I don't know. I have no information to give to that. Like I told everybody and anybody on here, if I knew something about this, because I am in no way okay
Mm-hmm.
with abducting a child, killing him, burying him. I would bury somebody else for doing that to somebody like that.
Now,
Right.
the probable
I
cause
would be
affidavit, David, it says that you spoke to them while you were not in custody about this.
I gave them permission
Okay, maybe that's what
to
that
search the house when Sarah got arrested.
Mhm.
I didn't get arrested. She got arrested April 13th of 2022. I got arrested May 6th of 2022.
Okay. All right.
Do you expect to be indicted for this?
I was going to ask the
I mean,
If I am-
obviously you have an idea that you're probably, or else you wouldn't be doing this. I mean, let's just, I've seen
doing
this
this
before.
to tell my side of the story. And if I'm indicted, they've got a long road ahead of them with going to trial.
Well, I mean, not really. If you told him that he was in the yard, I mean, you're going to be charged with lying.
I mean, if you say that there was a child in the yard and he wasn't in, he might have not been in the yard, but there was evidence that there was a human in the backyard at one point. You know, that's not really such a too tough of a hill to climb. We have no idea of all the evidence that Fruitland has.
To investigators if that's what you did, and that's a serious crime too.
And if I am, I am. I own up to that.
This
I take
is in
accountability.
October. Prosecutors on the investigation over Michael says, quote, I expect to charge it. Prosecutors said this in October of 2023, just a few months ago, that they plan on charging TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, they put 4 posters up of people, and I'm not saying you don't have the right to defend yourself. You absolutely
You
do, and
absolutely- of
if you
course
have
you do.
nothing to do with this, all that should come out eventually. But I don't know. I'm not really sure why. I just don't. I can't get past like how you would just say, hey, yeah, he's in the yard.
I literally made that up.
And
There was
then
no-
dogs
there was
literally
nothing
hit
behind it.
on human decomposition.
Yeah, that's the problem is if you made it up and he was actually in the backyard, I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Stacey?
I feel you, and I get that. But
I mean, that's a hell of a
I
coincidence.
gave them a direction. Okay, this is where I know that it was a lie, because that dog may have hit in the backyard, but the direction and area that I pointed to him, the dogs did not hit around at that house in the backyard.
It's
I
not
told
that
them
big.
he was literally buried directly across from the patio.
It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Well, who do you think did this?
I don't know.
Is
I
it
know
some- do you
I
think
know
it was somebody in
Adrian
the
has
house?
I know Adrian has, according to detectives and what I've been told by them, that Adrian has a huge history of human trafficking. So I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh.
How, I'm very suspicious of Adrian, to be quite honest with you, but I don't know how Adrian fits in the picture. Like if this was done while they took that trip to Brandon's mom's house, if Adrian was some other place, well, then he might have knowledge of it, but he may not be involved. But Adrian has
But the
a
matter
very-
of the fact is when and how he would get away with doing something like that, because I have no knowledge of any of this.
Okay. All right. Yes, adoptions. Let me just play this. And this was what they said.
Everybody, I just wanted to start out by saying thank you.
Let me.
And it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland.
Can you pause that for a
As a
second?
result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search.
Why it says that they received credible information. So that's based on your tip alone. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I'll
Jesse.
just check.
Okay.
Search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sarah Wandra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement.
What would the probable cause be?
Him.
The following day, the Fruitland Police.
I mean, probable cause, you've got to have enough evidence to arrest them, right? You got to have enough for a judge to sign this. Come on, people. We don't know
Police Department,
everything.
joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wanderers' home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property.
Listen to this.
All of them alerting to the presence of human remains.
All of them.
So that's where the problem,
right?
You know, that's where the story,
all of them,
really starts to fall apart for you. Is you're saying that I made this up, but then you have multiple dogs. Every dog that was there hit.
Mm-hmm.
They're not hitting. I mean, you can bring them to my backyard right now. I can make up a lie. They're not going to hit, and they're not going to dig up my yard.
Exactly.
I mean, you understand that.
Penetrating radar was also.
They check, obviously, the dog. They go in there with the dogs. They check for ground anomalies, multiple different factors. They just don't start digging. Good.
Oh, that's it. I was just wondering.
I just want to finish this little bit.
Deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation,
and that's where something has been dug, and the ground isn't as firm.
Of the entire backyard, and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased. And that
we strongly believe ... based on evidence. Strongly believe based on evidence. Those are very important words. Based on evidence.
That his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing.
I mean,
Sarah wanted a baby, right?
She wanted a baby.
Did she take Michael?
I have no idea.
I mean, she's your wife. You would have some
Sarah
idea.
Was also very deceitful and hid everything from me. She had the gun she held Tanner Butler up at gunpoint with.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea or any knowledge about the gun that she had.
Now he's throwing her under the bus.
Because Randy Strickland, who was staying with us, asked her to not tell me about it because I was a felon.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you got in trouble for?
Huh? I got for having my own gun.
Right. Well, you know, the
Were
main
you
thing
offered a deal, like a cooperation deal?
They offered this before they dug the yard, and they said that they would give me a 15 plus 7, but in the condition that I would tell them where the body is. And I said, I don't know where the body is.
Currently, or
that's interesting the way he said that. I don't know where the body is. Not that there isn't a body. He says, I don't know where the body is. It's very interesting the way he states that right there.
you did in the past.
I have never known where the body is.
I don't believe him there.
Somebody in the chat just said that Adrian was left with a duffel bag. You know anything about that?
No, never even knew that he had a duffel bag with him. He had a backpack.
So you unequivocally,
So it's a backpack.
absolutely
and it's a
never
duffel
at any
bag.
point in your life have seen Michael Vaughan. Never.
I don't even know who this kid was, and that's deep down honest to God with everything in my heart. I have no idea. I've never seen this kid. I didn't even know he existed. I didn't know who Tyler and Brandy were.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, I've never seen that kid in my day in my life.
Okay, so Brandon had a duffel bag. Excuse me. What did
Brandon.
Brandon have? What was Brandon doing with the duffel bag?
He had his clothes in it. Like, I watched him when we went to go tow the car. I watched him have an empty duffel bag. It was empty. And I watched him fill it with all of his clothes that he had in our house.
Was it your duffel bag?
No, it was his.
So you're not missing a duffel bag.
Not at all.
Okay.
What about underneath the house?
There
The
was
crawl
a crawl
space.
space, but that crawl space literally it was in the walk-in closet from our bathroom.
Right.
That literally had an empty Savage Arms old box from an old 17 that I had.
Okay.
Did a dog hit at Brandon's house?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't confirm that because I've been told things through lives, like doing YouTube lives, but I've never heard anything from the police. No.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any further questions, like Eve that does the same thing you guys do, has literally covered this whole case extensively, like thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
And she just wanted me to point out to you guys, like, if you have questions, like skeptibilities or whatever, to literally go to her. Like, she has the police reports, she has everything.
I just don't understand why you would lie to the feds about saying that there's a body in the backyard.
You
And
have
then,
to understand it coming from my point of view and my mental disability that I suffer with, like, not as an excuse, but
What's your mental
legit.
disability?
I have fetal alcohol syndrome. I have Asperger's. I have autism, which is Asperger's. I have bipolar, intermittent explosive disorder. Now, mind you, 98% of those I've overcome being in group homes my whole life. But people that have fetal alcohol syndrome, it is very common that people get put in very pressured situations.
and
And
yeah, but not saying that there's a body in the back and then there actually being a body in the back, and then you're on Arizona and 8th changing power steering fluid and a child goes missing that's 165 feet away from where he lives.
that instant reaction just to give something to get them to back off.
And you're right. But the problem is what you told them is what they have evidence that there was someone in the backyard.
Okay, but they did not specify where the dogs hit. They said they hit in the backyard. I told them where it made up again, where he was buried, which was directly across when you walk out the back patio door. It was directly straight across, right in the middle of the fence, in the middle of the yard. They didn't specify where he was hit.
Oh, you didn't specify, but regardless, he was
They
still in the
said that they
backyard.
dug by the shed and that the dogs had hit around the shed area. That's what I've been told. I know, and if you read their report, or you probably can pull it up, she literally, I don't know if it's accessible or not, but I know for a fact that when I gave them that location, they literally, I watched it on video when they were digging at that spot. Detective was on the phone with me.
Mm-hmm.
They dug nothing up. The dogs did not hit in that spot. I watched them.
Mm-hmm.
But you said that he was in the yard.
I said he was in that direct spot, but he was never there. Clearly,
Well, he was in that yard somewhere at one point.
somewhere, probably, I don't know.
Somewhere, yes, probably. I don't know. He just said 3
I have
days.
Probably
nothing.
was.
I don't have knowledge of it.
Well,
Like
I
I
mean,
said, I
you
have
didn't
never-
pull that out of thin air. Maybe
Yes, I
Adrian
did.
told you, maybe
Yes, I did.
Sarah told you, maybe Brandon
No.
told you.
But this is exactly why it's hard for me to do these lies, because people are gonna try to judge me and say that I literally didn't. I had something to do with it. My question to you is why, when they did a polygraph test and I answered every question they asked me about Michael's disappearance, why on earth would I pass that polygraph?
Well,
You don't just get a false positive on a polygraph.
but the thing is, I'm going to throw something back at you after if you are taking heavy medications and
Haven't taken any medication.
and you have these
Haven't taken
disorders,
medication for years.
Well, do you have proof that you passed the polygraph?
You can probably get it in the affidavit
Because I
somewhere.
mean,
polygraph means nothing, in my opinion. But I mean, he supposedly has all these bipolar, manic depressive, fetal
you can't
I
use it
can
in a
tell
court of
you
law
that
anyway.
three people talked to me about my polygraph, including
Thank you so much, Amos. He sure loves the word literally. I would like to hear what the deception that has to say about this creep. Yeah, I would too. I hope I'm gonna email him and see if he'll do a video on this. Yeah, people who say literally, or they say like, and so on and so on and so on, or yada yada yada, they're not filling in those spaces. They're brushing over it.
the guy that did the polygraph in the Meridian Police Department, the Highway Patrol. The guy that did the polygraph told me, he asked, how do you feel you did? And I said, I was honest about everything. He goes, you're right, you did. And then later on, I talked to the detectives. They also verified. Scott Crimmins.
All right. The thing is, if Brandon and Sarah drove to Brandon's mom's house there and back, and they're seen at the corner of Arizona and 8th Street, how could he not know? And then he says that there is remains in the backyard. And there is evidence that there were remains in the backyard. How could he not know?
Was also at the Meridian Highway Patrol during my testing. He also said that I passed my polygraph.
Did
Anita,
Sarah pass?
no. According to what I'm being told, no. I don't have confirmation. I'm hearing that from my mom and what the detectives told my mom, because Sarah was married to me.
So here's a common occurrence in these kinds of cases is that people want to give information, but they don't want to implicate themselves. They want to have one foot in, one foot out. Sarah not passing, but you passing. 3 other people may know what have happened, but I don't know what happened.
SMOs.
And
Yes.
then
Absolute
you
word.
see what I'm saying, and you see where
Yeah.
I'm going with it. I'm not trying
Absolute final finale.
to be rude and trip you up here. I'm just saying
Thank
you
you for
pulling
that.
that out of thin air is almost impossible.
And it's not impossible for me.
I said
Well-
almost impossible.
Okay, and I believe that. Okay, almost impossible, yeah. But for me, it wasn't impossible. If
I mean,
if you literally sat there, you would see how literally like how on the verge of tears I was because of being interrogated so hard,
there you go
so
again.
rough. And I told them the same exact thing the very first 4 interviews before the last one, before when I told them about where he was in the backyard. I told them the same exact thing that I've told everybody else. I have never met this kid a day in my life. I've never seen him. I don't know anything about him. I don't know anything about him disappearing, any of that.
Do you know what day they gave you the polygraph on?
What, David?
Do you know what day they
What
gave you the
day?
polygraph?
It was May 18th, I believe. It was literally the day that I got my case dropped for felon in possession out of state when the feds picked it up.
Okay. So while you so you're basically lying to them while you're on the phone with them while they're digging up the backyard,
Yeah.
is what you're saying. Now, see, the thing, it's interesting how he'll say that he knows nothing, he has no knowledge, he doesn't think Sarah and them would, do something like this. But then you'll be like, well, they have to, you'll tell him like, well, they didn't pass the polygraph, they have to know more, and he'll slightly agree with you on that. So it's very strange. I kind of think, I'm like, well, if you think that, you got to have knowledge of it, then you have to. About the day is like, you're saying that you and Sarah and Brandon went to Cuna. Now, the thing with Brandon's story, exactly, Maurice, which exactly. So he admitted that he lied to law enforcement and he tricked them, yet we have to believe him now. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. It's not the way it works. He lied, but what he lied about, there was actually some truth in that. There was, remains in the backyard, but he wants us to absolutely believe him now. It's kind of like the little boy who cried wolf, but this has evidence. He's saying that him and Stacy got home and they went to the gas station.
Him and Sarah?
Or Sarah, sorry. Him and Sarah
No.
went
They
to
never
the
went to
gas
the
station at
station.
7:00.
No.
And it's like, somebody's lying here. Somebody's lying. And
They never went to the gas station. We left in our truck to go tow his car upon his request.
I want you guys to watch JLR. It's in the description below this video. Go watch Brandon's when he's in the hot tub. He says it's about 7:00. They went to the gas station. They got milk. They did this. They did this. Stacy's saying nobody went and got milk or anything. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were, adoption scam. That's exactly what we were trying to do. I think it worked out quite well personally. But why is their stories not adding up? They were together. They were together. 3 of them. the entire time at 7 o'clock. Why is one saying they went to get milk and went to gas station and everything else? Gas station to get power steering fluid, in my opinion. He says he carried it with him. So, I don't know. Oh, thank you so much, Mama She. From a comment to that Brooks read in her live this morning, I 100% agree with. I think he's doing this so that all of them can get the story straight in my home, get involved. Possibly. But the thing is, Brandon has already talked. Obviously Stacy has already talked. And obviously Brandon has already talked. The only one who hasn't talked publicly, at least, he's talked a little bit privately, but is Adrian. So. Mhm.
I have
Why did
no
you stop? Why
reason
did you
to
stop
lie.
at 8th in Arizona again? I'm just curious about
To
that.
put power steering fluid in the truck.
Listen to
And
that.
it
What time
wasn't
was that?
directly on Arizona Street. It was probably about 50, 60, maybe 70 feet, 80, maybe 100 feet behind Arizona, like before Arizona Street.
All right, hold on.
Literally right after you turn left out of our subdivision to go on 8th Street is where we pulled off.
Okay. So let me show you. Let me show you this. Because he never mentioned that to us. He never mentioned that to me when they were leaving. He left that good old part out. This is Arizona. This is 8th Street. This is like the main corridor for how both, places get out, right? Okay, this is better. This is 8th Street. This is where the Wanderers live. They would go here, here, here. He's saying somewhere right in here is where they changed their power steering or added power steering fluid. Turn right here. This is where Monkey lives, right here. So from here to here is 165 feet. 165 feet. That's when they got Monkey, in my opinion. Abso-freaking-frackin-lutely, that's when they got him. That is, he said, as soon as we pulled out 60, 80 feet or something like that, he's saying somewhere between here. Well, they saw Monkey. They saw Monkey somewhere here. They absolutely did. And that's when they got him. He was born at night, but not last night. You can lie all day long. This is 8th Street. This is Arizona. They're right here somewhere. They see Monkey somewhere. I don't know how far. I don't know where he was, but I do believe he was somewhere in here. Somewhere. 165 feet from their backyard to there. And they're on camera right there while they're changing, allegedly changing their power steering
Was
fluid.
Brandon with you?
Yes.
And so when you did that, just about the time that Michael goes missing, you understand that, right? Just kind of coincidental too.
I don't know.
No, the splash pad is not. Hold on. I'll show you where the splash pad is. Right here's the splash pad, right here. Here's the splash pad. Here's the splash pad. I did a... See if I can find it. Okay. There somewhere right here, changing the power steering fluid. Here's where Monkey lives, right? In my opinion, I think Michael was somewhere in here talking to the neighbors or whatever. Going, talking to his friends. I don't know. I know that there was 2 neighbors that saw Monkey 5 minutes apart, right? The red is where Monkey could have been, in my opinion. This is Monkey Street. This is the side of Monkey Street and their backyard. And then this is toward the splash pad. Sarah, Stacy, and all of them, they have to go down this road every single time to get to their home. This is the splash pad. Now, if Monkey was trying to go to the splash pad, he could have been here. He could have been on the corner here, right? He could have even been right here. And they picked him up in broad daylight. They took a child. They took a child that is not theirs. Think about that for a moment, people. Seriously, we hear it so much, especially in true crime, but think about it. Really sit and think about it for one moment. They took another human being that isn't theirs. How does one do that? How does one do that? Oh, let me show you this. Hold on, I'm going to play something. Let me just continue playing this. I'm going to show you something really interesting here.
I don't know what else to tell you guys. I've told everything. I've told everything. As
Look, I've asked everything that I need. And I know some people are saying, "Oh, Josh, you're being mean." I don't think. I don't think I am. I'm just asking questions. And I'll let you finish up, Justin.
No, I don't think you're being mean. And I mean, I think we're trying to find out what's going on here. And that's the thing. There's 4 different people saying 4 different things. What time were you on 8th and with the power steering fluid?
I don't have
He's
an exact time.
frustrated.
Like I said, it's
doesn't wanna say.
probably
But the problem is, like, why do you need to stop right then and put power steering fluid in?
because when Sarah made the left turn, the whining on the truck, when you have low in power steering fluid and your power steering is low in fluid, it will cause an extensive whine. And it literally sprays everywhere.
Brandon
So we
is
literally knew we were making the trip.
Mm-hmm.
So we had stopped literally just for the sole purpose of putting power steering fluid in. I had got out in the passenger side of the truck. Sarah popped the hood. I opened the hood, opened the power steering reservoir, poured power steering fluid in, closed the cap on the power steering fluid, walked back around to the passenger side truck, and we left.
Are you guys on CCTV anywhere?
Yeah, they have that picture as well. They have that.
They have what?
They have the picture of us stopping on 8th Street. They have the video. It was CCTV.
Ding, 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 ding.
That was also recorded. They showed that to me.
Ding, 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 ding.
But has anybody known that? Is this the first time you're telling that?
Nobody's asked me about it, but I told them everything.
Oh, I didn't. I was just wondering if you were on CCTV at all that day, but they have you on CCTV on 8th in Arizona.
Yes, correct.
Notice how he doesn't bring forth that information. He totally skipped it with me. Never ever said that he was on 8th and Arizona pulling over there. Lad. I'm going to show you all the street here in just a second. You got to see this.
Brandon in the car.
Correct. And Sarah.
Oof. I mean,
And
that's a major
a
problem,
boy
right?
that day. Hold on. You saw a boy that day as well, didn't you? You said
Yes.
you saw a boy.
Further down 8th Street on the very right-hand side in somebody's yard.
He even admits that they saw a kid. Yes, he did. Go back and listen again. Where did he say that, Fun size? Yeah, he's not definitely, he won't volunteer it. You got to pull it out of him. Where did he say that he changed the power steering fluid? Hey, main hypno.
And he didn't look anything like Michael at any point in time.
Okay.
We didn't never even approach the kid.
Did the boy you saw have a yellow? That's a weird thing to say. We never even approached the kid. Oh, he's stressed there. We never even approached the kid. I want to show you something. All right. Here's the corner. This is Arizona right here. This is 8th Street. See, South Arizona. This is 8th Street. This, right behind these bushes, is Monkey's yard, his backyard. Right here. Monkey lives in the next house over. In fact, you can see the building. Look at there. That's how close it is. Right there. And in my opinion, Monkey was either somewhere here or he had to be abducted on this corner, in my opinion, or which we'll know more once they get arrested. Or somewhere right through here. This is this is the other way to get to Monkey's house. Right? Now, if you go down right here, this is the splash pad. Of course, it's winter. It's winter here. It should make everyone sick daily. It should. It should infuriate the piss out of everyone. Thank you, Mama She, for that, by the way. I don't think I thanked you for that a minute ago. I was so in the comments. Thank you so much. I appreciate your contribution to the channel. This is the splash pad. Now, remember, this is literally the hottest time of year it's literally the end of July. So there's going to be kids, playing and everything else. There's not going to be snow. This is the splash pad. Now, this is also where he said he went around one of the turns back there and he dropped his Copenhagen, and he pulled in here to get his Copenhagen earlier that day. But this is the splash pad, right? Yeah. So the cameras on this house. I don't know when this was taken, but look. You see where we're at. This is the splash pad. Watch. This is the entrance to Monkey's Road right here. Right there. Now, Monkey was abducted anywhere from that splash pad right here. Anywhere from here on this corner, or even potentially through here, in my opinion. Of course. But this is where they pulled over. He says it's on up here. Now let's go. Let me show you this. Let's go up here where he says it was just right down from where they pulled out. This is where they pulled out, right here. This is where they pull out every single time. So, see the big field? All right. He says it's somewhere in between. Right? So let's imagine. He says it's somewhere down here. But he says that they see a kid. Can you see a kid? Can you see a kid 7 houses down there? He's lying. They were literally right here. They were right here, in my opinion. Either right here or right here. Now, Monkey's house is literally, there's a house right here, and it's the next house. It's the house over there behind this. I don't want to show it or anything, but they've got him on camera right here. And people, it's obvious as day. Busy road, you would take a side road to add the fluid. I think they pulled it right here. I think they pulled right here. I don't think they was actually doing fluid. I think they saw a kid, or they was changing fluid and it was an opportunity. It's an opportunity. Does anyone know who tipped to the police off to these people in the first place? Stacy and Sarah. What was that? Why is he out of jail? Because it's just going to take time. It's going to take time. They're going to be there'll be an arrest coming soon. There's going to be an arrest very soon. But this is I mean, you see, this is a neighborhood. This is an actual neighborhood. It's got sidewalks and it's got, people around it. It's got a splash pad and stuff. This is where, children get abducted. In Summer's case, kids don't get abducted like that. They just don't. Not on top of a hill in the middle of nowhere. Yellow shirt on.
It was a bright shirt,
Listen
correct?
to this. This is who he's.
From what I remember, it was short.
All right, this is Stacy talking about who they saw while they were changing
Like Michael at any point in time.
power steering fluid. It's very okay.
We didn't ever even approach the kid.
Did the boy you saw have a yellow shirt on?
It was a bright shirt, correct? From what I remember, it was shorts and a bright shirt. And he was a lot taller than the 5-year-old boy. I can tell you that much.
Notice how he can't say.
Who put the power steering?
Notice how he can't say Michael. He doesn't say Michael. In my opinion, that makes it too personal. He's using the boy or the kid to separate himself. His name is Michael Joseph Vaughan.
Fluid in.
I did.
So you're on video getting out. of the truck.
Correct.
And look, he's so uncomfortable here. Is Stacy with you at this time? I mean, Sarah?
Sarah? Yeah, she's driving the truck. She was in the driver's seat the whole time. Brandon was in the back seat the whole time.
So if he is actually telling the truth here, if he says she was in the driver's seat, Brandon was in the back seat, he's the only one that got out of the car. Now, they could have drove on down, to the splash pad or almost to the splash pad, and then Sarah or Brandon could have got out and got Monkey that way. But they all three know. They absolutely, wholeheartedly, in my opinion, they all three know. And I'm going to tell you what. I am looking forward to the day, hopefully very soon, that they are going to be locked away, and hopefully we will find Monkey and have a lot more answers. Brandy and Tyler and the family and the community and everyone deserves answers. Like the chief said, and I get chills when I hear this. You don't get to take one of the most precious members of our community and take it away from us. I think that was so beautifully stated by the chief. Makes me.
I was the only one to get out of the truck, as it's on video and recording, and the video shows me putting power steering fluid in the
They
truck.
showed it to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
When is the next time you put power steering fluid in that day?
I didn't have to
Sarah?
put it until the next day.
Okay.
I usually had to fill up the truck once a day with power steering fluid.
Was that the only place that you're on CCTV?
In another interview, he said they had to fill it up every couple hours. The power steering fluid.
No, I was on CCTV at the splash pad.
Yes, he was at the splash pad at I've got
Is
so
it
many
was
notes
that
here.
is that common? Was that common? I'm sorry, I didn't know if
Me
that's common
too.
knowledge or not.
Me too. Got to
No, that's proof. I saw proof from the detectives. They showed me the video.
You knew that, Justin? You knew that he was on video?
Yep, he's on video there at the splash pad, getting out of his truck. He says,
Car.
What's
Car.
wrong, fun
Car.
size?" Rather, getting his hold on. What's wrong, fun size? What's going on? What's wrong, hun? All right. I don't know what's going on. Were any of them drinking? Brandon drinks like a fish. And he does weed, I think, and um okay. All right, let's just calm down, everyone. Yeah, Brandon doesn't drink, he guzzles. He does. Yeah. Did they search the other mom's property? Brandon's mom? Yes, and they hit. They hit at in her driveway. Or in the yard one. Yeah, take a breath, y'all. Take a breath. You think Brandon did the grabbing? See, I think Stacy did. Not Stacy, sorry. Sarah. I think Sarah did. Okay, we can all have opinions. We can all have opinions. It's okay. If you don't care for someone in this chat, you're your own mod essentially as well. All you have to do is just click block. You can block that person. You won't see them. You won't hear from them. Again, essentially, even though we have mods in our chat, you're essentially your own mod as well. You can block that person. You're not going to see it, and it saves you a lot of time. And I mean, listen, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, even if we disagree, as long as we are stating it as respectfully as possible. Oh, speculation station, me too. Trust me, me too. Me too. Listen, there's over 1,200 people in this chat. There are people watching me right now that does not like me. And that's okay. That's okay. They're welcome to be here as well. As long as they're, respectful, that's fine. It is what it is. It's a free country. Yeah. Listen, you're not going to block me. I'll call you 70 times a day then. Snuff.
Correct.
Okay, so yeah, I heard that. So what happened was that you dropped
Correct.
your chew, you got out, you
Yep.
got it at the splash pad. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you.
I actually sent it. That's a good point. 1,200 people in chat, 1,200 opinions. I would say more like more than 1,200 opinions, because some people don't even know what their opinions are. They have multiple opinions, you know. Humans, we're very complex creatures. One day we may feel one way, another day we may feel another. We may feel something completely different an hour from now. We are very complex creatures. We're not supposed to think the same, to feel the same, to understand the same, you know. It just is what it is. And we can embrace it, or we can be, you know, really miserable about how others think or believe, you know, how people, you know, who they pray to, uh, you know, what religion they are, what country they're from, who they love, you know, it's really a strength, to be, you know, accepting of others' opinions and beliefs and all of that. So, you know, that's it.
Answer my questions. I know they come off fast, and that's just how I think and talk. So
It's okay, man. Like I said, I'm just here literally to tell my side of things. Because if there's
Sure.
one person that's going to tell the truth, it's me. I remember verbatim. I have timestamps that were pulled up on the maps that Justin can show you if you want to see them,
I'll
or I
send
can
it to you,
send them
John.
to you directly.
But
Like I have,
I would like a screen recording of that, just so that little.
I don't know how to screen record on.
I don't know why he took. I mean, I do, in my opinion, know why he took a picture of like the VIN the day, well, I guess while they were towing it at some point in the door. I think they did that for an alibi, in my opinion. Yep. He really stressed the timestamps multiple times. And I think he did that for a very big reason. Were the phones off? You know, I asked him earlier on in this, I said, you know, were your phones off at any point or anything? And he's like, no, or if nobody's phones
On
was
my
off.
phone. I have no idea how to do that. 100% honest. I just
I'll,
got this phone, so
I'll teach you.
So did you guys go to Brandon's house that day?
correct.
And
At
then
night.
so here's another problem. If the dogs hit in the yard at
Yes,
your
the VIN of the
house,
Mercedes.
you guys are headed over to Brandon's, and the
Right.
dogs hit there too. I mean,
Still in jail.
obviously
She's still in jail.
there's a body that's being transported back and forth, and they're assuming that it's Michael. That's why you guys are suspects, right?
So to be, yes.
Yes. Right.
But like I said, have
Is it possible that he was with that they covered this up with you being in the truck, that Michael was with them
not
and
at
you
all.
didn't know about it?
Not at all. Because the only thing that got put in the truck, we all walked out together. The only thing that Brandon had in his hand.
I think the reason he's saying it's not because not at all, it's not at all possible, is because they have him. They may have Stacy. I don't know, you know, picking up Michael. I don't know, but he would have had to have known. He would have had to have known. Period.
Hand was a duffel bag full of his clothes. I watched him fill his duffel bag up with clothes. It was empty, keep in mind. Watched him fill the duffel bag up, watched him put it in the truck. We all walked out together. The only thing that Sarah had in her hand was her purse.
Yeah.
And a grocery bag that had two or three Diet Pepsis in it.
Was Sarah, she was seen carrying a kid? Was she ever?
No.
And so
The
that,
only
and that's what you told police, though. That's that
Yes.
you're telling the same thing. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
There's nothing that I have said on my lives that I have not told the detectives, just so everybody's aware.
Yeah, and I just don't like. I don't know how. Look, I don't care what you do. You can talk, do whatever you want. But I mean, he filled. So the duffel bag was filled up with clothes. He had that many clothes.
He literally had a stack of clothes, a pile of clothes. And it wasn't a huge duffel bag, keep in mind. It was literally a medium duffel bag.
It's
with,
all it
like,
takes is a medium duffel bag, though, to be honest with you. I mean, it's listen, I used to work in a funeral home, so I know what it
I know.
how
And
small.
I'm telling you, I'm verifying on Brandon's behalf. I was a witness to him filling up his duffel bag when it was completely empty the whole time I was in the living room when he was doing this.
Yeah.
He didn't have the bedroom that he was staying in. He slept in the living room on the couch all the time. I have
Well, okay.
pictures of him sleeping on the couch with my dog.
Did dogs ever hit on that truck?
No, not at all.
How did they search that truck,
Yes.
or did you
Sure.
sell that truck?
Do they still have your
Wait a
your
minute, did you
video?
sell the truck?
No, the truck was repoed.
Oh, how long after Michael went missing?
It was July, I don't know, it was like August 2nd or something like that. August 3rd, but it was repoed.
Yeah, it
And
sounds
the
like gone wild.
detectives went and picked up the truck for evidence.
Okay.
How did it make Stacy feel to find out his lie was proven true when law enforcement started excavating? Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I regret lying to him, but at the
Why do you regret lying to him? They found evidence.
same point,
I mean,
I don't have any information for this little boy. I want to. I
Mhm.
want to get whoever it is that did this in trouble. I want this little boy to come home to his mother and dad, mom and dad. 1,000,000%, time and time over.
oh, he's going
There's
to.
not a day that goes by that I don't get up in tears. I don't get up wishing that this little boy would be found for his family. Like,
You
I
didn't have a
heart.
wash machine at your house,
We had a washing machine at our house, correct?
so why did you go to his mom's house?
Brandon just said that he needed to go to his house anyways to get new clothes.
So Brandon needed to go earlier that day to just get water, according to Brandon. They went, according to Brandon in JLR's video, they dropped by the house to get water. It's a long ways to that house. And now he needed to get new clothes as well. What is so many times in crime? What there's always a washer involved or changing of clothes, right? Doesn't make sense. You did your clothes an hour away when you could have just went to the next room in Stacy and Sarah's home and threw them in the washer. When did it become his lives? I don't know what that means, Mohawk. I'm sorry. But that
So
doesn't
he
make
was just
sense.
going to do his. You're right, it doesn't, but that's what Brandon said.
So what it sounds like, just personally to me, is if you're putting the pieces together and he's got a duffel bag, dogs hit at your house, dogs hit at his house. It sounds like he used that duffel bag for something else.
I'm personally telling you and everybody on here, like I said just a couple minutes ago, I watched him put everything from an empty duffel bag, like the duffel bag was empty. There was nothing in it at the start. Nothing. I
Oh, so
watched him look.
he didn't take any clothes out of there?
N-
There wasn't a pile of clothes at the house, or he didn't swap stuff
No,
out?
that's what I'm saying. No, you're just missing what I'm saying. Yes. When
Okay.
he first came staying with us, he emptied the duffel bag. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
When he loaded the duffel bag, it was again empty. There was nothing.
Where would he
in it,
put his Where would he put
absolutely.
his clothes? You have a dresser at
On
your
the
house
side of the couch. On the side of the couch.
instead of leaving them in the bag.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, he must have been in jail way too long.
He's done a few jail times. Correct.
So he took clothes from your house that you had a perfectly good washer and dryer from and drove it 30 minutes away to use his mom's washer.
Correct. Why? I don't know. But
I,
we
okay.
also were at a point with Brandon where we were just like want to argue with him. Brandon was unreasonable a lot with us.
Yeah.
He owed us so much fucking money. I mean, for everything we've helped him with.
Hold on 1 second. I want to show you something here. This is from JLR. 1 second. Listen to this.
Where were you all at on July 27th, 2021, the day Michael was reported missing? Where were you guys at in the morning?
Okay, so earlier that day, I spent the night there because we came in towing my car from my mom's to their house, and we came back over there, and then right as soon as we were getting the car back to the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood was on high alert looking for the little boy, Michael Vaughan, and they said he went missing right that day earlier, right before we came in with the car we were towing. And then right as soon as that happened, I went out and tried to look for the kid with Sarah. We got in her little Toyota car and drove to the gas station and drove around after we got out of the pickup.
See that gas station? Hear that gas station? Now listen to this.
And then tried to look in the field to see if he went down by the river or if he could be out just wandering lost. And, that's what hit my mind first. And then from there, it was me and Sarah. We went to the gas station, got some milk, and then did this and that and came back. And then right when we got back,
Does this sound anything at all like Stacy's account?
Carson had his pickup next door with a light bar on it.
Mhm.
So I said, hey, we need to start this up and kind of go look in the neighborhood and the farmer field and the river. We got to go find this missing person report that just came out. So that's what was on my mind right when it happened. But earlier, before that day, before we towed the car, we went to Applebee's. And there
What
was a
time was
guy
that?
that was earlier in the day after we woke up and had breakfast and watched TV and coffee. And then we went, me and Sarah and one of our other friends
Doesn't sound like it,
that
does
was
it?
there
Not at
visiting
all.
for like a week or so because he came in from the airport. He wanted to go visit his family over by Nampa area somewhere by the Karcher Mall.
Who was that?
Now, listen to this.
So that's Adrian.
Adrian. Now, Stacy yesterday said Adrian had been there longer than that. Brandon is making it sound like he's just been
Is
there,
that the
just
Adrian
came in.
Hernandez?
No, that's a different guy. Adrian Hernandez, I was locked up and incarcerated with him at the Canyon County Jail earlier this year. And he was just there for like some kind of a quarrel or marijuana or just some little petty charge. And he's just there for that. But this Adrian that I'm talking about was a different person.
Who? Like, what's his last name?
I don't know his last name at all. I just know that he was Adrian and he had like kind of an afro. And we went and did kind of a YouTube video that day where we were trying to make music and kind of like a car crash scene.
Now, why are they making music videos and a car crash scene that day? That's odd.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out with him doing that previously earlier. And then after that, me, Adrian.
And what car were they trying to use the car crash scene with? What car was they trying to make a car crash scene with? Yes. Yeah, y'all need to go watch this entire video over JLR's. I'm telling you.
Adrian and Sarah went
listen
to
to this.
Applebee's, where we dropped him off there after me and Sarah got a chicken sandwich and a soda pop over there at the whatever Popeyes
Who
restaurant.
bought the Applebee's? You or him? Or who paid for it?
Sarah took me to lunch over at Popeyes, and she was gonna buy a sandwich for me, Adrian, and her. But he said, "My family's here. I want to see him, so I'm gonna go to Applebee's and go over here and have dinner with them or lunch."
So Adrian is at Applebee's at this time, allegedly with his family, and Brandon and Sarah are running around. Now listen to what he
With
says
them real
here.
quick, and then give me a little bit of time to do that, and then you guys come back and get me.
Yeah.
So we did that, and in the meantime, me and Sarah were bored, just kind of
This is
driving around the
Brandon
mall,
talking.
and we didn't know what to do. So I drove back over to my house to get a water bottle and fill it up with water to bring back over to their house because I didn't like their water.
All right. So let's look at this a minute. Let's look at this. So this is Brandon talking, right? They go to their house. Hold on, let me check something here. Just thought of something. All right. Boise, Idaho, to what is snow 2518 Snowbell. 2518 Snowbell. Okay. All right, so look at this. If they drive, they're supposed to be in Boise at this time, I believe. They're in Boise, but he goes to his house, his parents' house, he says, to go get water. So they drive 24 minutes to get water. Remember, his mom is not home. His mom isn't home. He's not supposed to be at the house. Why would you go to your mom's house to drink water? That is another thing. Yes. Went to a pawn shop. Doesn't make sense, does it? Now I'm going to play this little bit right here. And then for those of you, the link is in the description for this full video of JLR's. It is well worth the view, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And then during that time, after that, we came back to the mall and we picked up Adrian, me and Sarah, and then all three of us, Sarah, Adrian, and I, we hopped in the car and we went back to the Fruitland house where they do their taxi business.
All right. So where was Stacy during all of this?
He was back at the house.
So Stacy.
So Stacy this is when he gets his ride. He leaves at, he says, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And he gets home 4:30.
You think Stacy stayed home all that day? Stayed home?
We left him there at the house. I don't know if he stayed there the whole time or not, to be honest.
Was anyone else there with him?
I don't think so. I think it was just him home alone at that point.
He gets the call. Stacy says he gets the call at 11 o'clock for a ride from Ontario, Oregon to Boise, which is about an hour. and he leaves at 1 o'clock. He gets home at 4:30.
And they
And that
had-
was before we went to tow.
Now
And they
listen,
had dogs and cats there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they had one hound dog and like 3 or 4 tuxedo cats.
So Stacy's there. You guys go out. What was Adrian doing at the mall?
He was just visiting his girlfriend and his son. And then after that, we went over to Macy's and kind of went in there and shopped around for clothes a little bit. And we were playing on our iPads and just taking pictures, goofing off. And then from there,
so they drop him off at Applebee's. He goes and they go to like a pawn shop. They go to get water allegedly at his mom's house. They come back. They pick him, Adrian, up. They go to Macy's. They're goofing off.
we go back, and then that's how it goes.
Well, what about the afternoon from the mall to you going back to the neighborhood? Did you guys go anywhere else? Stop anywhere else?
We just went over to a pawn shop, I think, just kind of look around at the pawn shop a little bit. And then I think he bought like an iPad, or he was trying to get a new iPad. I think it was around like 6 or 7 at night.
6 or 7. Then you're saying while you're coming back, that's when you noticed everyone searching for Michael. Searching for Michael.
Let me find something here.
I think it was around like.
Hold on 1 second.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So where's that come into play here?
So I asked them earlier that day if we could use their pickup to go to my house, my mom's house, and get my Mercedes Benz and tow it back over there so I could work on it if I was going to be hanging out over there doing the taxi business.
Yeah. So when did you guys go over there to get your car?
I think it was around like 6 or 7 at night.
6 or 7. Then you're saying while you're coming back, that's when you noticed everyone searching for Michael.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember.
And that's when everyone is searching for Michael. They said they leave at 6 or 7 o'clock. They before they leave, they get like a gallon of milk or something. Too much. Their stories are completely different. Completely different. Oops, wrong one. But you can find the link to that interview in the description. It's definitely an interview you don't want to miss. For sure.
When he had his car up and running.
And did law enforcement, do they have this bag?
I don't know. I, again, have not talked to the detective since November of 2022.
Has anybody threatened you? That's a part of this?
I mean, I received multiple things on Messenger, but I don't even respond to them.
Brandon is supposedly in North Dakota. He won't come to Idaho. He knows he's going to be arrested, but he may be extradited sooner or later.
I'm talking about from like Adrian or Brandon.
Oh no, I
or
don't. I haven't
Sarah.
talked to Adrian. I haven't heard from Brandon. I haven't heard. Sarah called me a couple times, trying to get me to stay with her, and I'm like, oh, I'm not.
Do you suspect her?
I don't. I have never seen. I would never think that Sarah would have something to do or do something like that. No.
Well, that's a lot of people though. That
Yeah, I mean, but it's his wife. I mean, I get that. I get, no, you don't want that, but so.
Oh, trust me.
does
I
she wear
have
the pants?
I have no reason to throw Sarah. I have no reason not to throw Sarah under the bus. I would throw her.
Yeah, you kind of do.
Yes,
You kind of do.
He kind of does have a lot of reasons not to throw
Because
her.
if you have any knowledge at all, it's
Oh no,
it's
no.
accessory
That's
after
what I'm
the
saying.
fact.
If I had any knowledge at all, I would have been the first person with no hesitation to let law enforcement.
Yes, Sarah supposedly had a laundry service or was getting ready. She had a laundry service at one point, or I don't know if she still had it. But yeah, take it an hour away to make life more complicated.
About any information I knew about him.
Right.
Like I told that in every video, I told the cops that. I said, look, any information, if I had any knowledge, first forehand knowledge, I would have been the first to tell you guys. Anything I knew. I was honest with them, just like I'm being honest here. I told them the same exact thing that I'm telling everybody on my lives. There's nothing, not one thing that has changed.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, after you tell a story so many times, and it has been a while, I don't know if there are discrepancies or not. I've seen a couple of them, but I do know that there are a couple discrepancies. But what you've told here, I mean, it seems like you're kind of walking us through what what happened, but you're
Exactly.
leaving out the part
Right.
of, well, look, there was obviously something, at least with those two going on, Brandon and your wife. If she agreed to drive him to his mother, or to his mother's house to do laundry for God knows what reason, why he's taking his clothes out of his duffel bag, setting them next to the couch. Where, like, when he walked in to stay with you guys, where did he set? He brought that duffel bag with
Hold on
him.
a minute. Hold on a minute. He said in his interview, he said that he was just spending the night with you.
No, Brendan stayed with us on multiple nights.
Well, in
I
his
mean, he
interview,
stayed with us for months.
in his multiple nights, months. Now, Brandon doesn't make it sound that way. Brandon sounds like he stays with his parents a lot of the time, but you know, when he was working, you know, he would stay at the Wanderers, you know, some, but to do your laundry, and then they went back the next day. The day after Monkey disappeared, Stacy, not Stacy, sorry, Sarah and him went back to his mom's house to get the laundry. Interview, he said he had just spent the night with you guys that night.
No, he is completely wrong. That's one of the reasons he owes us so much money. He's in debt with us over $1,000. He
Well,
agreed to pay us rent
he's
for
called,
staying with us.
he said that, and this is his words, Stacey, it's not mine, but he said you were a nice guy, but you were a serial liar, is what he said. That's his words,
No.
not mine. So this guy owes you thousands of dollars, and yet you're going to tow his car for absolutely free. Let's see, taxi service, but busted cars, laundry service, but drove hours away to do laundry. Please, yeah, Benson.
My point is this.
And you know, it's, you know, I mean, Sarah, she was banging him, right? She wasn't banging Stacy, her husband.
I'm the one that's provided timestamps of that night in question.
Mhm.
Where's Brandon's timestamps? He's very capable of finding some way or somehow to log into his old email.
Well, there's some more things you could show timestamps for too, and you said they were long gone as well, Stacy. Now, it is alleged that Miss Sarah was kind of a hoe, to be quite honest with you. I don't know how to put it, but she put a lot of ads out there and had a lot of, you know, let's just say this. She's a married woman, and God's telling her not to have a VHS and a DVD player and a television in her home, but she's sleeping with a man that's not her husband, and she's sleeping with other men that is not her husband. You see how they hide behind the religion? You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. God will never send you somebody else's husband. Remember that, sisters. God will never send you somebody else's husband.
else to find pictures of videos that were time stamped that night.
But if you're saying he was with you the
Correct.
entire time,
Correct.
there's you're telling them that there's a child's remains in the backyard, but you say you're lying, and then there is child's remains in the backyard, and then you say there's a duffel bag, a medium-sized duffel bag, and he's washing clothes that you have a perfectly good washer machine at the house, and then you said he didn't bring the duffel bag home back that night.
He did bring it back home. I said that.
No.
Yes, I did. I said he took his duffel bag, put his clothes in the washer, and he got a new change of clothes. I said that.
So he put
Did he say that earlier? Did he say that earlier that he brought his duffel bag home? Sounds like a lot of side jobs. Oh, thank you, Benson. Thank you. No, he picked it up the next day. Yeah. I don't say, but he argues. No, he did not. I didn't hear him, but he argues with me, and I'm thinking, I didn't hear you say that, but I
put him
could
back
be
in the
wrong.
bag wet.
No, he got a new set of his clothes. He has like a fucking wardrobe.
Right.
He got new clothes. He left the old clothes
Y'all, he is so uncomfortable with this right here. This, in my opinion, is the height of his uncomfortableness.
in the washer and went back the next day with Sarah to his house to go put his clothes in the dryer. He brought his duffel bag back home with new clothes in it.
So what time did he go back the next day with Sarah?
I would say mid-morning.
Mid-morning. Okay. Do you know how long he was there?
I mean, they came
Yeah.
back within a couple hours.
And where was Adrian?
So get this. They don't get home till 10:30 that night, right? 10:30 that night. On the night Monkey vanishes. And then the next morning, mid-morning, 10, 11 o'clock, they're back at his mom's house, an hour away. Wow. How interesting. Isn't that interesting? You leave there late and you come back again early. Yeah, 10:30. They get about 10:20, 10:30. They get home. And that's when everyone, he says, is looking for Monkey. They say they look for Monkey a little bit that evening. And then I guess they go to bed. I don't think they slept much that night, in my opinion. And then the next morning, they drive back to a house that they're not supposed to be at to get the clothes Why didn't you just go the next day? Why did you go that evening? If you was going to be there the next day again, you could have done it all in one day. You could have went the 28th, mid-morning, done a load of clothes, which still would make sense. They've got him, people. Law enforcement, they got it. Said they looked for Michael till 12:30 in the morning. Wow. But they went again the next day. They could have got the car mid-morning on the 28th. But they did it late. Think about that. It's pointless. Are any of them RSOs? No, the neighbors are. Their next door neighbors are.
Adrian.
He had came back to the house that early that morning. He was at the house that morning.
Okay. And nobody knows where the duffel bag is?
And apparently it's at Brenda's house. I'm just speculating. I don't know. I haven't talked to the detectives since
Hold
my
on.
interview with them in November.
And nobody knows where the duffel bag is?
And apparently it's at Brenda's house. I'm just speculating. I don't know. I haven't talked to the detectives since my interview with them in November.
Well, y'all better have produced that duffel bag.
Have had no police contact, have nobody contact me from the police department, nothing. That's honest. I don't have communication with cops.
Did do you know
That's
if they
independent.
checked I'm sure that they did. They checked Brandon's mom and dad's washing machine?
Yeah. I'm sure they did. I don't know for sure, but I'm sure they did the whole house search.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, do they really think there was a body in Brandon's backyard? If the dog's hit, why the fuck aren't they tearing up her backyard? Makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. All this stuff that's being said about abracadabra dogs hitting on Brandon's backyard and my yard, maybe they said in my yard.
Well, because there may have not been anomalies there. They may have just we don't know exactly what they hit. We just know that they hit the
But
front
why
door.
would they dig up my yard and say that the cadabra dog's hitting his yard,
Well,
but not
because you
dig up
told
his
them
yard?
this, Stacy. You told them,
You
doofus.
told
Them that there was a body.
Correct, I did, which was a lie. But if they so-called said, this is my point I'm trying to make. If they said that there was cadabra dogs hit in the backyard of his mom's house, why aren't they digging up the backyard at his mom's house? That's again
Oh, sorry.
speculation. There's no documentation.
I was going to say if he's in here, come on up. We'd love to hear from you. Explain yourself, please.
From the police, to my knowledge.
There's a child missing. His name is Monkey Michael Vaughan. His mother is in the chat right now. She needs to know where her baby boy is.
Saying that the cadabra dogs hit on his backyard. I haven't seen anything nor have I heard anything other than hearing it from the media, from what's being said from on YouTube videos and talking to Brooks. Again, that is, to my knowledge, is just speculation.
This is the comment of the day. KRN. Because you told them there was a body, you're ignoramus. Exactly right. My cheeks are really red. Yeah, I get frustrated. I'm blood pressure. My head feels like it's gonna come off right now.
Because until I see concrete evidence that the cadaver dogs hit on his backyard, because I'm telling you, if they hit on his backyard, it would have dug his backyard up too.
Well, I don't know if
That's
they hit on
my-
his backyard. They
They
didn't
said
somebody say
that
crawl space,
the crawl space was at our house.
That was their
Uh-huh.
house.
and the dog hit there too.
Well, the good thing about Idaho is you can't plead insanity. There is no insanity defense. You are paused until you're deemed competent. They did with shovels, Brandy said. There we go.
No, the dog never hit on the crawl space. Dog
Okay.
never hit inside the house.
Gotcha.
That's just my point I'm trying to make. Like, there's lots of speculation, and there's apparently the police have evidence.
There, Adrian. I dropped you a link. Dropped you a link. I'll be just as calm as I am right now. Come on up. I know you're watching.
I don't know what's true. I know that I had no part of this. I know that I don't even know who this kid is. I've never heard of this kid a day in my life.
His name's Michael.
I know
Vaughan.
his name now, but I'm saying I don't know this person from Adam. I've never heard of this kid. When he went missing, I was like, who the fuck is he? Other
His name's
than
Michael.
Yeah, I know. Who the fuck is Michael? Like, I know that now, but I didn't know it. I lived in the neighborhood for 2 years, never heard a peep about Tyler and Brandy or their kids. I didn't even know her.
Yeah.
Never did a tax for them, never took their kids anywhere, and never even, I was oblivious, like 100%.
I've heard rumors, and these are just rumors, that you may or may not have said, but leaning more towards may, that you saw Sarah with Michael.
No, not at all.
Never.
That's not coming from me, and I heard that too, but I heard it from a friend who follows the YouTube channels.
Oh, so you've heard the rumor?
I've heard the rumor too, and that's not true at all. I've never once. The only child that Sarah and I have ever babysat was my tattoo artist Ian Sturgeon's daughter when she came to visit from Wyoming. And Ian asked
I've heard that rumor too about Sarah.
us to babysit her because, and she's
Very
8
much
years
so.
or she's 11, but she liked to come and hang out at our house because Sarah would do crochet things with her, would teach her how to crochet, would teach her how to, would bake with her, bake cakes with her and stuff like that. So she enjoyed hanging out, and I enjoyed her company. Her name was Lexi.
Why would can you just tell me about that? Why would that be a rumor? Why would somebody
I don't know. I have no answer to that. That makes no sense at all because Sarah has never, to my knowledge, I mean, when Sarah and I have been together, we were like Bonnie, like not Bonnie and Clyde, but we were like together 98% of the time.
and didn't you have Michael's poster on your fridge?
Yes.
She had Michael's poster on the
Yeah,
fridge.
but it's your house too, so you never
Correct.
saw that photo?
Correct, but that flyer was put up when it was given to us by when they were passing them out.
Who gave it to you?
I don't remember somebody passing out flyers. I just know it was literally given to us. I had Michael's profile picture, his picture of that was on that post profile picture on Facebook for the longest time, and I've already cleared that up with law enforcement. It was literally to show support of the missing boy Michael. like
Mhm.
everybody was doing. Everybody had a profile pic of Michael that lived around that neighborhood or that close friends, or they had the blue light thing going.
Brandy, I was looking at Google Earth and I noticed that so many of the neighbors have a blue light on their porch. And that just warmed my heart. You see it on Google Earth how so many of the neighbors have the blue light. Did the helicopters keep them up?
You know,
Right,
like literally, we didn't do the blue light thing, but we supported him by posting his picture on my Facebook page and her doing YouTube or TikTok videos with his profile, that missing boy picture in the background of the TikToks.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, after you get home from your trips and running and all that,
Mhm.
what did you guys do before you guys left for to do the towing?
We just stayed on the. I'm like I said, we're at home. I think Sarah made a quick bite to eat, and we literally just chilled until we left. We made a plan. We got ready to go do the tow. I got the tow strap. Brandon watched Brandon pack his bag full of clothes, and we left.
Okay.
And are on CCTV 2 different times.
Correct. Correct.
Thank you, Maui girl. We are behind you, Brandy Neal, and we will not stop talking about Michael. Sending you love and prayers. Thank you so much, Maui girl. Amen. Y'all, Brandy is the sweetest person. She is. It brings tears to my eyes. She's just the sweetest person, and she is an inspiration. She's strong as fucking hell, and she is just amazing. She's amazing.
Around the same time, Michael, people were
Correct.
looking for Michael.
Correct.
The interesting thing is Brandon says at 7:00, him and Sarah were at the gas station.
No.
Thank
Look at the
you, then, Maui
timestamps that I
girl.
sent you.
Thank Did they get milk at any time that day?
No.
So he's flat out lying.
You say milk?
Absolutely no.
Milk.
Milk. Yes.
I saw you drink.
Now remember, we heard him say milk just a minute ago. We heard Brandon say milk. He stopped and they got milk, got gas. He says it never happened. Y'all were together.
Drinking milk the other year. Are you a milk drinker?
I love drinking milk.
Is that an Idaho thing?
No, it's just a me thing. I would go through a gallon of milk in about 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
I
That's a
love milk,
lot.
dude. It's my favorite fucking thing to drink in the world.
Milk.
I don't like
Wow.
soda. I like tea, but I'll choose milk over tea any day.
Really? Wow.
Like I can't. I piss people off because I'll go to their house and they'll have a gallon of milk, like a full gallon,
Yeah.
and they'll go check their fridge like the next day or whatever, and it's gone. I can't tell you how many times I pissed off my tattoo artist.
You drank his milk?
Oh yeah, he was
Oh
pissed.
my God.
I had to.
That's true. Where was that comment? Where was that comment? Where was it? They said another one who likes milk. Don drinks a gallon of milk of dank room temperature hot milk. Lord.
I ended up having to send him money to replace it because he's like, dude, he drank my whole gallon of milk. I'm like, sorry, dude, I just love milk.
Well,
But
I like
see,
milk too, but not that much.
Oh, no, I love milk.
Yep.
I drink milk all day.
It's coming. It's coming. Let me tell you something. It's coming. TikTok. TikTok. It's coming. Hey, Charlotte Swebbing, how are you? I'm not a. Yeah, he also said he told us that he was diagnosed with fetal alcohol syndrome at age like 12 or 13. Aren't you diagnosed at birth with that fetal alcohol syndrome? 2024 is the year we're going to get answers for Monkey, Michael, Joseph Vaughan, and Summer Moon Utah Wells,
Any day if I could.
and Quentin Simon.
Not even joking.
He previously said the duffel bag was empty. Now he said it's packed with clothes.
Yes, it was empty when he brought it to the couch and put all of his dirty clothes inside the duffel bag. Correct. That's
Okay.
to clarify, but yeah, that's what it was. It was empty at the start. He brought his duffel bag onto the couch and loaded all of his dirty clothes into it.
Did Brandon stay with you that night?
Yeah.
Okay. And did he stay with you the next night?
Yes. He stayed with. He was lived with us pretty much. We like pretty much
Pretty
took
much.
care of him, babysat him,
Pretty
in
much.
a sense, if you mind.
But didn't he have a house?
He wasn't allowed to stay at his house without his mom there.
He wasn't allowed to stay at his house with his mom not being there, but yet they went there the night Monkey went missing. He did a load of clothes that he didn't need to do. They got the car and they came back the next day mid-morning. And if they were coming back mid-morning, they could have got the car mid-morning. They could have done the clothes mid-morning, which they weren't supposed to be there in the first place.
His mom was in Arizona, I believe, at the time.
So
Yeah, and a
so
trip for
he's there
water.
that night. So during that
Yeah.
day, you were never away from Sarah or Brandon or Adrian, for that matter, long enough for them to possibly
Not at all.
take Michael.
Not at all.
So you guys were all together that day.
Yes. Adrian stayed overnight in Boise or Nampa when the day they went to when they took him to go see his kid on the 27th.
And you say
So-
that he has been in. Did you say he's been in trouble for sex trafficking?
Human trafficking, correct.
He's been charged with that before?
Yes. I learned that from the detectives Anita and Scott Kremen.
I mean, that's just another layer that just tells you,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well,
having a
here's
human-
the thing. Like, I didn't know his history at all. I had to learn that from the detectives, and I didn't learn that until after I got incarcerated. Just to clarify, this is not something that I knew beforehand at all. They came and told me about him.
Idaho has death
I
penalty.
learned that Dorothy was a sex offender who's Carson's ex-wife.
So Sarah did not have Michael Vaughan.
He farts
No.
again.
Never once.
Not
That
at
was-
all. Never during that day. Not at all. Not at all. And I'm not,
Nor-
I would, and if I knew something, like I said, I would not cover for her. I don't give a fuck if she's my wife or not.
Mhm.
At no point in time would I ever be okay with finding knowledge about this or knowing anything about an abduction or somebody taking a child ever.
So this, I mean, he needs to buy a cow, him and Don. I just thought of something. What time did you guys leave? Yeah, he farts 2 times in
said?
this.
I think it was like
Video.
6 or 6:30.
He farted the other time. And you guys didn't
In
get
that
back till
area.
10:20?
Correct. Keep in mind, the reason it took so long is because we had to take the back roads. Keep in mind, we also snapped the tow strap, so I had to get out.
Why did
and
you
tighten
have to
the tow
take the
strap.
back roads?
Because you can't drive on the interstate with a tow strap and a car being towed behind a car. You just don't do that.
I
I don't know. I'm just asking. I have no clue.
No, that's exactly why I
I
chose
I
told Sarah
understand
to take
that
the back
part,
road.
but I'm just
Huh.
trying to see.
So what is the convenience of taking the back roads because of that? And how much longer does that
Because
add?
I mean, you
uh,
can't with towing, you can't go
significant
like
time.
70 miles an hour and pull something. You got to
Exactly.
kind
You
of.
can only go 35, 40 miles an hour at
I
top.
understand that part, but
On a tow truck?
No, it wasn't a tow truck. We literally
Don't people tow trailers all the time?
he said that it was on a borrowed trailer. Really? Really? Justin, did you see the interview with the woman he stayed with and she kicked him out? It was a weird interview. No. Brandon? Who Brandon stayed with?
There was no, yeah.
They did
We
it with
weren't
like a
on a
rope.
trailer. We literally were on a tow strap,
Gotcha.
like a
Okay.
strap
I got
that was
you.
connected
Okay.
directly to his vehicle to the back of the truck.
Gotcha. Okay. A tow strap. I understand now.
They didn't get home till 10:20.
Ouch. Oh my God.
Hey y'all, I'm going to end it right here. Josh is getting ready to go live, Lab After Dark. So head on over to Josh at Lab After Dark. Brooke just sent me a picture, and it's called. It's a book. It's called "The Day My Fart Followed Me Home" by Ben Jackson and Sam Lawrence. So head on over to Lab After Dark. I just now saw his. Just now saw that. So, yep. Let's head over to Lab After Dark. Brooks is so funny. She's so funny. Thank you all for being here with me. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Please hit that thumbs up button. And the interview to JLR is in the description below. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about this. All right, we'll see you guys later. Love you all. Thank you all for being here. Love you, Brandy. Justice for Michael.